để tình cờ được thấy em bên ai điều anh như tình đầu. Baby just forget me now, forget me now. Nào yêu thương con khi ta đậm sâu. Sao lại chẳng thể bên nhau.
Em anh chẳng thể giữ em cũng chẳng thể bật này đừng chờ chỉ muốn nói một câu là hãy quên anh đi. Nhưng em lại chưa từng nhớ và cũng chưa từng thương và cũng chưa từng mơ. Anh là điều em không thể dám chắc, cái thằng chỉ muốn được dắt em đi ngủ sớm và nhớ hết green dot trước khi nó nhắm mắt. Just forget me now.
Rồi ok, cái ổn rồi đấy.
Nhưng em không hề biết người em ngọt còn hơn cả candy. Giờ chỉ còn anh với sâu chu và đêm sẽ vẫn hết cũng chẳng có mà quên. Khoảng thời gian qua không như là anh không phải giữ bản thân anh nhận ra là em chưa từng thương chưa từng nhớ không còn cách rồi để anh nói đừng buông. Chưa từng rồi em rồi chỉ nhớ đốt nhạc lên slow dance giai điệu này từng phương đừng tình cảm này cần trăm chiếc tủ từng đêm ngày mà vẫn không biết đủ phù phân sau tuyết phủ dù trăng tan mây đen dù nào và hay để nắm bàn tay em hoa trong tay cứ just keep close và dẫu chẳng biết đến đâu hay yêu thương kia từ đâu cùng ban đêm thâu chẳng còn càng thương kém đâu khi trên đôi mi trong đêm em suy tư bao sâu. Một ngày tình cờ được thấy em bên ai yêu em như tình đầu. Baby just forget me now, forget me now. Ta luôn mang theo bao nhiêu yêu thương khi ta đắm sâu. Nhưng sao lại chẳng thể bên nhau.
Đây rồi, đội hình ra sân.
Let's get to your improvement plan.
Yeah, okay. Yep. So, all right, really quickly.
Let's get your plan.
I'm screwing our producer over. All right, so if you've been in LPL for a bit, I have debuted this Slayer improvement program. Last year, we were able to talk through some points. Now we're bringing it to EDG. So it's awesome. Shout out Izzy bringing back this graphic with the player improvement program. Here's my player improvements. All you could grade them. First one, we need to correct Lee's positioning blunders. Not saying this guy doesn't always position himself. He's always terribly positioning himself, but I've seen him lose fights. The Baron against WE comes to mind in game 1 where he just gets deleted standing out in the middle of the open. Number 2, tame the engaged support beast in Perukia a bit. All right, listen, Perukia. You get some nice looks sometimes, but every time you see a 4-man, whatever, 3-man, whatever, you don't need to go in. Let's figure out a good middle ground. And then third, I feel like this team should play for Angel a bit more. I think Angel has been playing the best of the bunch, I would say. And I would like to see a little more team composition designed around him, fight setups around him a bit more. That's my improvement plan.
Okay.
For EDG.
I'm okay with most of this. I would say 1 and 2 almost feed into each other. I think that leave most of last year.
Chơi với cả đen xanh đỏ. Trong đến lít anh em bọn tao như xíu ăn gao.
But even then I wasn't like extremely excited. So I feel like Perukia maybe.
Tại sao lại không vào thế nhờ? Vô đây rồi.
Okay, let's try to hands check these guys. And that usually comes in the lane. Once we get out of that, definitely I agree. Perukia has also just shown a little bit more of where of just like paying attention on the map. Like, oh, this is where I need to be setting a vision. I don't always need to be finding engagements. We'll talk a little bit about his champion pool as we get ready for draft coming up soon. But I generally agree with this. I think the solo lanes for EDG have been amazing. Xiaohao has been instrumental in this team actually doing anything in the early game. So as long as the top side is doing well, I think we're okay with what's happening down under.
Okay, all right. One preface I do need to put out. The only other time I did the Slayer improvement plan, it was for JDG if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, ahead of either Split 3 playoffs or maybe the regional qual, some important part of the season for JDG, and they didn't listen. So what I'm saying here is, if EDG listen to me, they'll find success. If they don't, I have an easy cop-out that they didn't listen to me. Win-win.
It's okay. Considering what's happening in our Twitch chat, most of the time, I think a lot of people aren't listening to us. So
True.
we're coming into this
That's
series.
unfortunate.
What I'm thinking about when I talk about EDG and Thunder Talk, we come before today. I just want to double check this. EDG had first selection going in. They're going to have first pick. They are going to be on red side. We are seeing a little bit
Và
of
anh mà xế luôn yêu em, luôn thương em.
where we see people, especially with moving over to potentially choosing red side.
No.
For EDG, I think this is
Đó
kind of
trước
like a
kia
slam
trở
dunk. And
về.
when we talk about early teams,
Đó
and
chỉ
teams
là
that
mái
not as
ước
entirely
có
fleshed
thể.
out like Thunder Talk, I think their draft priorities can be a little bit strange, and because they know that they don't have the strongest player
Rằng một
in every
quãng
role,
đến.
sometimes it gets restricted. I don't know. I'm a little worried that you get another freebie, especially again, we just played this series last night.
Yeah, and you're not going to see that scenario really happen much more. I think the closest we're going to get is like some teams will have a couple days in between.
Yeah.
For like a group of cent turnover. But yeah, this is a unique opportunity, and we are back in to draft once again. The final time in the regular season, EDG and Thunder Talk will meet, unless they see each other in the Knights Rivals matchup later on. There's the first pick. We get through the bans. Yeah, this feels like a slam. Yep, that's pretty easy. Let's just give Angel Azir. Why not?
Yeah, so there's no Nico response. I still think that Orianna is the best mid laner on the patch, but Azir is definitely really highly contested, and especially for Angel, we talked about it enough. Just give him a strong team fighter, and Azir kind of covers her for some of his weaknesses by being a self-sufficient laner. Now, instead of the Orianna, which can still be paired up later, they go for the jungle for Jinhao and picking up this Jarvan. Jarvan has been going on a tear here in the LPL, so I'm excited to see, especially with something that's going to be threatening that backline.
Two very scary circle ultimates. That's my analysis.
Tuần đàn tới anh ngậm ngùi, bồi hồi lên chuyến xe quay về thăm em. Tuần đàn tới anh ôm đàn, bồi hồi lên khúc ca anh tặng cho em. Tấm này màu cành mai thắm tươi, tình cờ nhìn thấy em vui, trong lòng vui như pháo hoa. Thấy muôn lời hoa đang xanh đôi. Ta lại chung cùng năm mới. Nhà nhà hạnh phúc đón xuân bình an, đón thêm bao điều bình an. Ôi, từ 9.5 làm được không phải EDG. Nhưng mà với cả đen xanh đỏ trong đất đít, anh em bọn tao như siêu nhân gào. Okay.
And I don't hate the Aphelios ban. I think Aphelios can make Yunara's life very hard early on, especially now that you see a Lulu ban come across. That's a very common enchanter pairing next to Yunara. I like this Aphelios ban, but I will point out, very limited sample size for a lot of these Thunder Talk players. Keshi, I think his best game was that game 2 against Edward Gaming. I think he had a couple pretty good looks on this Mbessa diving on to leave. Just the rest of his team couldn't really back it up, and they were in too much of a deficit for it to make the difference.
Oh, Braum. So Braum would have given them 2v2 potential. I really want to see a Nautilus come on through here for Thunder Talk. We already have the makings of a dive composition with this Jarvan and Mbessa, but I think you need just a point-and-click lock for something like Azir later on into the game. Otherwise, how does this team have replicable ways of getting onto the backline? And you know that Alistar is also a potential here. And if Peruki is really feeling special, he can go for a Renata and completely end this game. Xin Zhao, we've also seen that Crescent Guard can knock everybody else away, and that completely throws a wrench in the plan. So I need to see some kind of like instant engage support. I don't want to see Alistar. Leona's like second string in that way, but Nautilus is just so consistent.
Yeah, maybe you can make a Recon argument. I don't know. All right, so they get the misfortune in here. Wow, what a wombo combo comp this is going to be. So regardless who they end up going at support, I feel like now if you want to play for the 2v2, set up the bullet time best, Rel gets a look as well, but I would think Rel's a bit problematic for the rest of this comp.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think the point you made is really going to sink true here. I think Perukia has the opportunity to really just ruin this Thunder Talk draft.
I mean, he gets first pick here, or he gets to pick like whatever he wants here, so he will get countered in support.
Rồi, ok.
Alistar's great.
EDG
Rel
trừ.
is, like you're mentioning, Rel's just a good
Cái này xỉu
takeaway.
kêu nhờ.
We're gonna have the Zahen pop up on the top side. This champion's a little bit weaker in the lane, but once
EDG
you get
trừ
out
đi.
and you're able to be competent in
EDG
team fights,
trừ
champion is really
85
hard to get away
game
from.
1.
That being said, there is an Orianna,
EDG
so
trừ
I think
35.
that EDG are gonna have a little bit of a tougher time.
Trừ 9.5. Đây rồi, EDG trừ 9.5 bem kèo.
Want to see them playing with priority. It's going to be a little
Okay.
bit tougher just because Miss Fortune can kind of move her weight around and do that thing where she just walks with a BT and clears a minion wave in front of you. It'll be tough. We do get that counter matchup that we were looking for in the bottom lane.
Okay.
But I don't think Thunder Talk have very many tools of dealing with an Azir later on.
No, they don't. And even with like Yunara, remember if Yunara transcends, there is a way to jump out of that cataclysm. Obviously,
Exactly.
usually when you're throwing down this cataclysm, you're hoping that if you do it right, Haru can ult as the cataclysm comes through, so you get the big burst. But like you mentioned, right, if there's so many ways to ruin this. There's the dashes of this Azir and Yunara. There's also the really good point you made about Crescent Guard. Like, if Xiao Hao gets trapped with these carries, he just props the Crescent Guard, and Haru doesn't do any damage. So where's the rest of the damage coming through? The bullet time could get blocked as well. It's like Keshi maybe gets on top of one of them. It's a very problematic approach to this comp for Thunder Talk. Can EDG, the team we have favored in this matchup, we favor to execute their comp better with so many counters, come out on top just like they did the day before.
And as you see on your screen right now, Coach No Name of Thunder Talk and Coach Clear Love came back. The JDG project was not a success by any means.
Nope.
Failed to make Worlds. So he's going to go back to the tried and true, and you know, the old ball and chain, some would say. So for EDG, let's get ourselves a strong series look, send ourselves to 2-2. Otherwise, Thunder Talk start making this group perseverance very strange.
Super strange, especially after last night's series. I know we talked a lot about EDG and Thunder Talk as they threw down yesterday, but what the hell was Team W and NIP? Well, it could be the series that really murkies up groups for perseverance if Thunder Talk have something surprising in their hands. They'll have to start back on Summoner's Rift for Game 1. Our only look at group perseverance tonight, Thunder Talk EDG. I thought there were going to be more.
I heard them.
did.
Look, it was more than the OMG LGD series, so I will take it, okay? We're just scaling Gyos at this point. We got some here for the series too. JDG, BLG, the arena is going to be packed, I promise, guys. So both junglers starting on the top side. Early vision already being attained here by EDG. Nothing across the river from Thunder Talk so far. So at least they're doing a good job of trying to see if they can find the enemy jungle. But see that trading already, a barrier being burned by Leave.
That's what we call in the business an aura barrier burn.
If he dies early, I'm laughing my ass to the bank, brother.
I'll laugh with you, but the point stands. That's what I'm trying to think would be the reason for it. It does at least get there. I like where it's at least gotten the wave. It's in a little bit of a higher spot here. They should get level 2. I mean, level 1 Alistar is just here to cancel Crashdown. So
if they would have gotten the Crashdown there, then that might have been a summoner spell from Ryan, or at least most of his health gone. So I like the idea there for EDG.
Like you pointed out, with how powerful Miss Fortune just can be as an oppressive later in wave clear wise, anytime you can get up tempo in this lane for Leave on the Yunara will be nice, as we do the classic trade of both support summoner heals. Once one goes, the other one has to, or you'll die, apparently. So
one of the supports did take summoner spellbook, or unsealed spellbook, so they'll hopefully will have access to things like teleport to get around the map. The barrier and the cleanse should also be nice. Was given a little bit of praise there to Perukia for getting the mount up on Alistar mid headbutt combo, so he just gets his aftershock proc and he also cancels the damage. Junhao is here first. It is on his side of the map. It's just going to be a pretty large.
Vừa tìm thấy đã đánh mất chưa kịp chẳng em yêu thương.
I think we're already starting to see a little bit of an advantage creep up as Leave has about a minion wave's worth of a lead.
Tiếng yêu em sao không thoát ra được đâu. Chúng ta đều lỡ duyên mà lỡ duyên cả đời. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư không. Ok. Nào, giờ BM đi. Giờ ba EDG. Rồng một lửa, đất nước, đất, rồng một lửa, đất, công nghệ nước hóa kỹ á. Hóa kỹ hả? Rồng hóa kỹ hả? Rồng hóa kỹ nè người anh em. Ôi tự nhiên thèm hát thế nhờ. Tự nhiên thèm karaoke quá anh em ạ. Hay là bây giờ kiểu đầu trận nó chưa có gì thì tôi ngồi tôi karaoke nhỉ. Rồi bây giờ đây JDG đang bị dí lên. Ok sẽ là bạn 2 cục dành cho các thành viên tên là Thor. Thì mẹ mình ra 3 game mới nhá 4 triệu ấy.
400 gold going over to Junhao. The jungle camps are also going to be nice as they are respawning. Opens up a small advantage here for Keshi. Thankfully for ZDZ, he can teleport immediately back to this wave. And before all of this was happening, that recall we saw from Leave, he took a little bit of a cheater here. He comes back to lane, even in CS with the wave pushing into him. He has a call now, so I think Leave and EDG are going to be looking to play a little bit of a longer game, obviously, with the champions that they have. A great punish there from Thunder Talk, though, does give them a small lead here.
I think Cole is one of the best items, especially for that Yunara, for how she wants to play the game. So I'm definitely someone that subscribes to very often getting that one picked up, and good to see Leave subscribes to that idea as well. So with that short 800 gold burst, how can Thunder Talk keep pushing this? Well, you've got a Chemtech Dragon in about 10 seconds, and the way these jungle clears are going, I think it will be both of them kind of arriving towards this bot skull at the same time if they like, so bottom lane's coming out about the same time. Maybe we can see another skirmish here on the bot river.
This scuttle is really important here because it gets both junglers a little bit closer to 6. I think if Junhao gets this, though, he does just proc over and gets his ultimate here. He's going to recall instead. It looks like he has a tunneler back on his recall, same as Jarvan. So we don't get the immediate clash of our two junglers. We're getting a top lane scuttle, though.
Rồi.
Wants to play another game of top lane chicken. Keshi's still holding on to his, but I don't think he wants a reason to turn. ZDZ held his flash just to go for that look. Doesn't get the knock up or anything, so Keshi kind of just mogs him.
Mai nắm tay người rồi thương thì thôi.
That'll just be a small summoner 1 here. Uh-oh.
All right, good deal there for Perukia. Both junglers are nearby. Xiaohao does not have first turn, though. Neither holding ultimate either. That will be a decent chunk on to Leave. Does
That's
give
the scuttle, though.
Yeah, first track towards that scuttle.
Oh.
Let's see if let's test your theories here. See if he gets maybe over to level 6.
Wait a minute,
Rồi, nào.
Yeah.
Giờ đánh lên đi. Sau đây đi lên úp lòng vào vị trí của Barukia. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư không. Ok, Barukia đang yếu máu và Barukia sẽ nằm xuống. Xiaohao đang đi lên. Tiếp qua bên đây thì có được mạng của Rian, và đó sẽ là một và double kill dành cho Rian. Ủa, tôi làm dữ trời. Ôi, như câu bummer luôn rồi đấy. Câu bummer, thực sự là câu bummer luôn rồi đấy. Lạnh vãi chưởng à. Đâu ra vậy? Đâu ra cái thời tiết này vậy? Đâu ra cái thời tiết này vậy? Nó lạnh vãi. Ok nào. Tại sao? Tại sao tôi lại không thấy comment trong box chat?
All of this damage that Junhao got onto Perukia makes it an uneven fight. The bottom lane is already. I don't know how Leave is second here.
Ok, giờ đánh lên như nào đây? Bóng em ta trôi vì giờ này còn hư không?
I also don't know about Leave's pathing there. Why is he going up the river instead of taking the path from the Tribrush? Because then he ends up flashing over the fat wall when he could have just walked that way and not have actually had to flash. Definitely been head scratching, and something that Thunder Talk could go ahead and punish again, right? I mean, Leave doesn't have flash. He'll have the transcendence to maybe try and dash out of a cataclysm, but that is a valuable summoner on the marksman, off the marksman nonetheless.
Look at this. Let's use control through mid. Orianna immediately drops into Fog of War. Doesn't turn into too much, but I'm looking at the bottom side jungle in our mini map here, and it is entirely blue and control wards. There is very little vision right now in the river. So EDG, recognizing that they're down tempo, down spells onto their opponents, they're not allowed to play for this. I think ThunderTalk should feel more than happy with going towards this dragon and looking for a fight. Orianna Shockwave is up, and you have Junhao with that Cataclysm ready to go.
And on top of that, the difference in the itemization for that first path legendary item that these 80 carries are going to pick up, I know they don't have them yet, but components-wise, Ryan's got a BF sword pickaxe.
Yêu ai khác ngoài anh,
Earthbound axe.
tìm ai ngoài anh.
The damage difference between Leave and Ryan right now is disgusting.
He's got the entire kit. He's got a bow, and then he's got the actual arrow, even though I know the Hearthbound axe isn't actually an arrow. But it looks like one. He's got the arrowhead. ThunderTalk, they're first on the river. Haru, this is impossible for EDG. Especially, I'm looking at Angel's position. He's nowhere able to get into this fight.
Rồi, nào, bây giờ đi ra đây bật luôn cho mình đó là bán nguyệt thương. Người đang bị giữ lại cho là vị trí của Ryan, đó là mạng hạ gục chấm dứt chết đào Peter, bật cho mình đó là bất quốc thì chạy kiểu gì đây, và đó sẽ là mạng hạ gục dành cho các thành viên bên phía EDG. Nhưng mà đổi lại thì ThunderTalk họ có rồng, họ có rồng thì khó đánh rồi. Bây giờ đây đi ra thống nhất được hạ xuống từ vị trí của JDG KC lướt ra. Nào, bây giờ hành quyết công khai dính là lao vào luôn ấy. Tưởng thật, hành quyết công khai dính là lao vào đấy. Mẹ nhìn, có kẹo gì không anh em nhỉ á? Có, EDG trừ. Đi EDG trừ đi người anh em. Hồi nãy còn có cả EDG Money Line mà giờ người anh em vô trễ quá thì chắc EDG trừ rồi. EDG bây giờ đang trừ bao nhiêu rồi? Đang trừ bao nhiêu rồi anh em? Đang trừ khoảng bao nhiêu rồi? Rồi nào, bây giờ đánh như nào ở đây? Là gì nên đánh đi. Nó cách. Rồi, nào. Giờ dí ra như thế nào đây? Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư không? Tìm thấy đã đánh mắt chưa kịp.
Good to see some ThunderTalk members with such a fresh squad. We talked about the graphic, how many, how low some of these players' tier 1 reps number is. They're starting to, show some consistent signs, some champions that they can consistently go to, and that does seem like a small thing for a lot of teams, but it's a big step for a squad like ThunderTalk with so many different people coming in to play for this org in 2026.
Yeah. No, the only holdover right now is Feather, and we were thinking maybe it would be another year of 1xN on this team. Doesn't end up being like.
Rồi nào.
So EDG now just.
Giờ đánh lên như nào nữa đây? Vừa tìm thấy đã đánh mất chưa kịp sao em yêu thương. Em nhưng có giữ em được đâu. Để chúng ta đều lỡ duyên mà với nhau cả đời. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư không? Vừa tìm thấy đã đánh mất.
I mean, you just got kit diffed right there, Leave. That's why people play Misfortune a lot of the time.
Oh my god, look, how broken is this? She has a million shields.
Nào bây giờ ở đây KC đi ra hành quyết công khai bậc thống nhất là hay này. KC mang muốn đánh tiếp đéo cần hành quyết công khai dính luôn ấy. Đéo cần hành quyết công khai dính luôn và vẫn sẽ có mạng. Rồi bây giờ đi vào EDG thì ngon nè anh em. Bây giờ đi EDG thì ngon nè. Giờ vào EDG được á. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư không? Đi nông sim trừ đi em ơi. Đằng kia đi nông sim trừ đi. Nông sim trừ 7,5 đi. Nông sim trừ 7,5 game đầu hả? 7,5 game 1. Đi anh em. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ. Má, ở đây có anh em nào biết cái bệnh sùi màu gà không? Có anh em nào biết cái bệnh sùi màu gà không? Ví dụ như mà bị sùi màu gà thì dấu hiệu gì là đầu tiên? Ý là tại sao em gà cứ bị nổi nhưng mà đéo thấy ngứa chim anh em ạ. Đéo thấy ngứa chim. Chỉ bị nổi thôi, chỉ bị nổi ở miệng này, ở sau đầu này. Không có nổi, ý là nó không có nổi. Hay là bị dị ứng ta. Nhưng mà nó ở một bọc trong miệng á. Nó nổi ra một cục mụn. Nó giống như mụn cốc vậy á. Nổi dưới cái sau cái môi á. Theo cái phần môi dưới á. Thì là nó là bị gì ta? Rồi ok, bây giờ đánh lên nào. Nó sợ bị xùi màu gà vãi. Sợ bị xùi màu gà vãi đái ấy.
Super MVP performance there from Feather, just completely biffs the play there for EDG.
Rồi,
Ryan's still gonna collect this wave. You got a barrier out of Ryan, but you're gonna be missing 2 ultimates 40 seconds before the dragon. EDG, they wanted to ham fist some priority in the bottom lane. Now is the time that they have to be able to pay off on it. Are they gonna steal camps? Yeah, we're going.
Nhưng mà gà không bị ngứa chim, không bị ngứa gì hết. Chỉ bị gì? Bữa đi cắt tóc thì thợ cắt tóc nó kêu là cái này là giống bị xù màu gà. Xong rồi cái hỏi là ủa sao vậy, xong cái kêu là hóa ra là chưa gội đầu. Đệt mà tại vì gà định ấy là khi nào mà đi hớt tóc ấy là nó sẽ có cái gói combo gọi là gội đầu massage, thì gà sẽ sử dụng gói đó luôn. Thì bởi thế thì cho nên là mới ấy đó anh em, mới không gội đầu. Quá eco từng giọt gội đầu luôn à. Eco từng giọt gội đầu luôn à. Hay rồi. Nào, bây giờ đánh như nào đó đây. Bóng em ta trôi vì giờ này còn hư không.
Oh, he's CPing first.
CPing first. Feather. Oh, the shockwave whiffs. They try to use the Alistair to deliver it. They at least get themselves a dragon. That's a win for Thundertalk. Junhao goes in, but there's the Emperor's Divide. Keshi flies in the back with full execution. Angel, does he have enough protection? His shields are gross from Keshi, and he's eating up a ton of trade damage. But he has to flash away from these here. Sal's gonna re-engage with Guard. Perugia on the back end of the fight.
Rồi nào, bây giờ đánh lên đi. Ok, ăn được 1 mạng 2 mạng. Nào. Junhao double kill dành cho vị trí của Leaf. Rồi, con Junara này bây giờ nó sẽ bị khùng ấy.
But TT showed why we were worried about their comp into EDG's peel right there.
Thundertalk, just take the small wins, guys. Like, we just teleported our top laner into this play before he recalled. JDG gets access to 2 plates top lane. That's a massive swing of gold, and you see right there, Feather uses that unsealed spellbook to try to use the teleport, maybe as a monster flank versus EDZ, but there's no shockwave. I don't know if they have the damage to deal with him.
Vinavon. Idiot,
well. Set of spells through for Haru. ZZ already down about half HP. Feels pretty defensive. Walk on out. Like you said, no shockwave, no problem. ZDZ get into his weak side king era as we look back at this overextension from TT.
As soon as Keshi teleports, I can tell that for TT, they're saying,
rồi,
we need to fight. Especially if you're Keshi, I have a 30% HP shield. Why not? I have the HP to play for it, but this is way too far. We know that on the other side, that Peruki's behind him. Come back to life?
No, he's getting caught by Xiaohao and Angel. Don't know how that play started, but definitely seeing Thundertalk showing signs of a team looking to clean things up like side lane allocation.
That's a big
rồi, nào. Đó là chàng vào trụ dành cho cái viên phía EDG. Vẫn ngang tiền à. Không hơn không kém. Alright. That's okay. Tình là gió vẫn được. Mình vẫn còn một chút nhớ thương.
Is this dragon? Now they did get the Herald thanks to them playing on the top side of the map. If they can grab some turret plates in mid lane, I'll feel a lot more confident about their ability to play for this objective in 2.5 minutes.
See off that last fight, we talk about from Angel what he gets him.
Gió đưa tình là gió vẫn vương, anh vẫn còn một chút nhớ thương.
Paying off here. He's already got those Fiend Hunter bolts secured. It's just such a heavy acceleration for this Yunara that relies so heavily on team fighting with 3 items plus as soon as she can. Already seeing the power dynamic kind of shift a bit, it feels like, between these AD carries.
Yeah, Leave has so much more agency when you're playing Misfortune. You are allowed to kind of bully your opponent, especially in lane. But with the Fiend Hunter bolts, it becomes a lot less enticing to walk up versus a Yunar 1v1 in that lane. Now they're getting plates on the other side of the map. This is good as a response, but I'm a little bit confused here by EDG. We're putting a lot of weight into top side.
Yeah.
It seems like they wanted to get some gold back here for ZDZ, but he was already half a level up on his opponent because Keshi spent so much time in side lane. Are we not going to be contesting for this dragon? Like, we need to be moving now. Peruk is going to come back out of the map. This is the next 45 seconds. If EDG are not getting vision down, I'm a little bit worried about them walking into the pit here.
Well, some people may, you know, scoff at a Cloud Soul. It's important to, you know, contextualize that soul into the team that could be the ones to reap the rewards. I'm pretty scared if I'm EDG of an Alistair holding on to Ghost, or not Ghost, Cloud Soul, but most
It's
importantly,
basically
like
Ghost.
Yeah, it's basically Ghost, right? So Cloud Soul on like an Alistair looking for engages, like Junhao, especially Keshi. Giving Cloud Soul a team that wants to dive you is a pretty scary prospect, even if you don't think of Cloud Soul as highly as some of the other ones we have in the game.
Seeing the deploys right now as Harry teleports into the Tri-Brush. Again, great setup here from ThunderTalk before an objective. All of the wards are in great spots. You have control of the river alongside the Scuttle, and control of mid is always going to be easy because we still have the Herald. This is going to be a niche thing, and I don't know how much time we'll have to talk about it, but there's a lot of movement speed buffs in this game. Jarvan's standard is going to give attack speed to nearby allies. There are Bandle pipes completed by Feather, so that's just flat 30% attack speed buff to everyone around him. I think that there's a very real likelihood that some of the carries here are going to be able to eke out a little bit more than their opponents. We'll see in this upcoming fight. Herald is being spawned now as ThunderTalk will look for the mid-turret.
Doesn't have enough damage from Shelly herself to get the mid-tier 1 down. Do they feel comfortable stepping up? They're looking for the...
Rồi nào, bây giờ đây lao vào khá tốt, đóng lòng tốt bên từ vị trí của Junhao, đi lên bật cho mình đó là sức hút kinh hoàng. Barukia vẫn đang bị giữ lại. Ok, xin chào tới vì sẽ là mạng hạ gục dành cho các thành viên phía thanh địch top. Đừng nói ra 3 game nhé, đừng nói ra 3 game nhé. Tao cũng nghi là trận mẹ mình trận Dinh Đông với BLG ra 3 game lắm. Tao nghi lắm. Tao nghi cỡ nào không ra à. Đừng nói tao trận đó nó không ra 3 game. Trận này mà ra 3 game nó là chịu. Ồ, hôm nay trong nhóm có người phím kèo là hôm nay có người trong nhóm phím kèo là làm cái xiên 3 cái gì ta, làm cái xiên 3 trận mà kiểu tài map hết á. Ôi tài map thật mà. Trận 1 tài map, trận 2 thì tôi không biết. Trận 2 đang đánh, tôi không biết là sẽ ra tài map hay không, nhưng mà trước mắt thì đang thấy là thấy EDG nó, họ đang ngưa ngửa rồi đấy. Một là hũ Thunder nổ, không thì thôi.
A very tough sequence for EDG to survive. ThunderTalk come out the victors for it with a 2,000 gold lead. And now it's all eyes on what's going to happen in the next 3 minutes. If EDG gets some of this gold lead, I'm looking at Angel. He's been the guy that's been untouched this entire game.
He's got himself 2 items in the bank, but you need more time with this Azir. Yunar is still waiting on some pretty big completions to be a true scaling threat as well. Try to make a look to see if they can catch any straggler recalls from ThunderTalk on the top side. None to be found there. And one thing I can't believe I skipped over while talking about Cloud Soul. I gassed up a Jarvan and Mbessa and Alistair running at people. Misfortune was strut up in Cloud Soul might move 1,000 miles a minute as well.
Yeah, she gets a lot of mileage during her ultimate, so we'll see if Ryan can continue to be as dominant as he has so far. I mean, 5-1, pretty impressive. We've kind of shirked the wave and talking around these two, but especially for Ryan, I think it would be massive. Not only would it be TT's first win, which maybe we just have a historic amount of first today with OMG also winning their first game, but for them, I mean, being able to stand up to leave, exactly. For Ryan, I'm thinking like, this is your first time here in the LPL.
Chưa với cả để anh sang đỏ.
I think more touted,
Không để tiếc anh em bọn tao như siêu gào.
Have a pretty good name built up for yourself in that manner.
I will say, I'm not pushing this on to Ryan, but it's just
Bóng em
like,
thả
super
trôi
niche
vì
thing.
giờ này
I feel
còn hư vô.
like misfortune.
Vừa
Like
tìm
I've seen so
thấy
many
ra
Spartans
đánh
have
mất
like
chưa
5+
kìa.
kills out of an early stage game and then lose. Like higher than any other AD carry. It's something that's stuck in my. All right, Feather's getting chased down here. Knock up. It's gonna use the exhaust on his Xiao Hao. They don't really have a lot of innate damage to get through Alistar with the Unbreakable Will, but hey, they do get a TP out of Keshi. They do get the Alistar ult out for very little. So that's a win for EDGs. The Baron is chilling, watching all this action go down.
I am okay with this. I'm kind of okay with this. If you're EDG, you're sad you didn't get the kill, but you did just get 2 teleports out from Thunder Talk. So pushing on the top side of the map is really important. Maybe finding Keshi is the way to get
Gió
back into
lên
this game.
chiều
Any
xuống,
picks right now
chiều
turn into
tối
Baron.
mộng
Baron
mơ.
is here with 2 items.
Rồi
This
nào,
could be something you look
đó
at
là gấp
tomorrow.
2k tiền,
Just wait
nhưng
for
mà
them to join the
chỉ
fight.
có
You
hơn
need to
một
have
mạng hạ
the
gục
soul.
thôi.
Thunder Talk, I don't think we
Tất
need
cả
to
đều
look
đến
for
từ
anything.
trụ và mục tiêu lớn.
Expect that snap
Cho nên anh em mới thấy được rằng là việc mà có trụ và mục tiêu lớn nó quan trọng tới mức nào ấy. Rồi bây giờ ở đây đi lao lên đánh là khá hay. Sao EDG Lip vẫn mực bắn Lip bắn vào phía bên kia. Casey đang muốn đi qua bắt Lip. Lip dí ngược lại Casey, Lip bắn được. Bây giờ đi lên úp lọc thì sao Hao có được mạng của Junhao. Junhao đang là người bị giữ lại. Ok, double kill dành cho Lip, cùng với đó là Heru chấm dứt đi được mạng của hạ gục của sao Hao. Chỉ là những mạng hạ gục đổi qua đổi lại, 3 đổi 3 đều đi vào. Barukia đang bị giữ lại sao? Đi lên bắn tiếp luôn đến từ Lip. Barukia thoát về được hay không? Ôi trời ơi, tại sao lại đi hướng đó nữa? Tại sao lại đi hướng đó nữa? Đi qua phinh hướng bên kia thì bị cắm nguyên cái cờ vô đầu, cho nên là phải liều thôi. Và đó sẽ là mạng hạ gục nhiều hơn dành cho thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk. Tạm thời là họ đang dẫn trước luôn mà. Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư vô.
I do feel like EDG had a really good time here in this fight. They're going to be walking into this next one with no flash on MF, no flash on Orianna, and 0 playmaking potential on the top side of the map for Thunder Talk.
Yeah, dumping everything onto the O2.
Vừa tìm thấy đã đánh mất chưa kịp.
Not really beneficial.
Chào em yêu thương.
Very, very risky into the fog. Doesn't get punished too heavily. We'll be able to eat up on some melons, and resets start to come across towards these battle lines that are being drawn. Angel will recoup back with EDG on the bot side of the ring. For our heavyweight flank, though, he's coming across and he is a marked Ryan. But where's the follow-up?
Nào. Ok, nào đi ra, có rồng một dành cho thành viên bên phía EDG. Rồi, lao lên đánh là khá tốt. Lip đang là người bị dí vào. Junhao đi ra, Lip vẫn đang được bắn, Lip bắn được. Bây giờ Casey đang muốn đi ra bắt vào vị trí của Lip, đi ra phân chia thân hạ, đẩy về và Lip hướng lên phía bên kia đầu dây và có mạng dành cho thành viên bên phía EDG. EDG. Ok, ngon luôn anh em ơi. Sao? Trang Minh thì ra EDG bây giờ là xứng đáng chưa? Xứng đáng EDG mình ra chưa? Bây giờ họ gấp lại ngược tiền luôn. Bây giờ họ gấp tiền ngược lại luôn. Được chưa anh em? Bây giờ họ gấp ngược tiền lại luôn.
What a turn.
Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư vô. Vừa tìm thấy đã đánh mất chưa kịp. Đâu em yêu thương giữ em được đâu. Chơi với cả đen xanh đỏ.
And these solo lanes for EDG are now tanky enough, and they have the damage to fight Ryan. Ryan, I don't think you can throw down the bullet time. I know it's a last-ditch effort to get yourself some kills. Let's not lose our minds, though. Every dragon can still be a soul here for Thunder Talk if they're able to secure them. Just now turns into a 3,000 gold lead thanks to that Baron giving them over half of it.
Yeah, and where does that gold really hurt? We'll get to see it after we get to say hello to the Shy. That is it's going to be a 4-item Leave Yunara and Anya's 3-item Angel. So it's even harder now to get the best value out of bullets.
Gió đưa tình là gió vẫn vương. Anh vẫn
If
còn
Thunder
một
Talk
chút
loses this
nhớ
game, it's gonna
thương.
be the most tragic for View because they had such a good early start into this game. I thought their team fights were sound. I think setup was good.
Oh my
Angel!
god,
Nào,
Angel!
ok, Angel lao vào khá hay. Thắng chói là tốt, thắng chói chết. Ok, sẽ là lộn gì đấy. Sao lại lật ngược lại nữa rồi? Có Baron sao mình lại bị chết hết nguyên đội hình à? Ôi cái gì đấy EDG ơi. Ôi cái gì đấy EDG ơi. Bây giờ JDG đang là người bị dí vào, thống nhất vẫn còn. Nào đáp đất thì chắc cũng đéo chết đâu ấy. Biết thế nãy đi tài kill nhờ. Mẹ toàn tướng lao vào sao không đi tài kill nhờ. Toàn tướng lao vào sao không đi tài kill nhờ. Anh ta trôi vì giờ này còn hư không.
Present guard is good. Blocks most of the damage from Ryan, but look where Leave is. Leave is like, I can't sack anything for Transcendence. I can't do anything on this one. And while this was an ambitious public execution from Keshi, I still think that just forcing the spawns in a minute and a half, and a soul is still on the cards here for Thunder Talk.
So huge that they win that skirmish, mainly to make sure they don't have to deal with super minions down that mid lane. Miss Fortune can have a lot better of a time clearing out these waves, making sure they're in pretty decent shape. Like you called out, for that dragon, they'll come in about a minute now. No TP advantage for either side. Both mid laners will have access to theirs as this dragon comes up, so expect Hero and Angel to be duking it out a bit in this top side, but gotta respect the flank of any sort of Junhao feather shenanigans, and Angel will do so for now.
That's beautiful. I'm glad that we showed the Durag stats for that one. 38 gold earned at the end of that Baron. That's not great. That's less than. Well, actually, that's almost
Less than
the
health
amount
bot.
that you would get for. It's less than health bot. It's almost as much as a control ward if you have support quest done. But 30 seconds. Again, I'm looking at vision. Good setup so far, but not enough that I think it is enticing for Thunder Talk to walk forward. Also, again, Hero still no flash going into this play. So while it might hurt and we might still see them fight for it, I do think that Thunder Talk should be trying to prioritize controlling the mid lane wave, and we'll worry about the dragon when we have a summoner spell back for us.
There are a lot of denials to the innate.
Rồi, nào.
potential of both of these combos.
Đã là gấp 1k tiền dành cho các thành viên bên phía EDG về trang màu rồng. Linh hồn đồng gió gì bỏ mẹ không được. Là gì? Trong lúc đội nó đánh linh hồn đồng gió thì mình đánh mẹ cái ấy đi. Thì mình ok nào. Bây giờ đánh ra là khá hay. Tỉ lao vào khá tốt. Ok clip chưa. Có biết bị hạ gục. Ryan vẫn đang được bắn. Ryan ở phía bên ngoài đang được bắn và EDG tan vỡ. EDG tan vỡ và sẽ là linh hồn đồng gió dành cho Thunder Talk. Mình JDG ở đây thì khó làm nên chuyện rồi. Cho mày hồi full cây luôn, mày làm gì được tao. Cho mày hồi full cây luôn, mày làm gì được tao. Lao vào là khá hay và JDG có mạng và sẽ là một ván win dành cho các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk. Ok. Rồi, nghe. Không win được à? Mày đam đâu? Ryan đâu? Lên bắn đi. Thôi chết kèo. Không sao anh em ơi, mẹ bây giờ kể cả EDG thắng thì cũng đéo ra được ấy. Kể cả EDG thắng thì cũng đéo thể nào ra được ấy. Rồi ok, chắc sẽ là một ván win dành cho các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk thôi nhỉ. Rồi nào bây giờ đánh lên là khá hay. Lip vẫn đang đi ra. Lip đang là người bị bắt vào. Junhao đóng lòng. Nào đi vào quẩy 1 quẩy 2 quẩy 3. Angel ở đây. Angel vẫn còn đang muốn đánh. Hành quyết công khai là có đi ra phân chia thiên hạ. Ok Ryan có mạng và đó sẽ là một ván win dành cho các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk này mời. Rồi ok, lại cùng nghỉ ngơi một tí. Có tụi nó đang bét rồng trong nhóm á. À bét rồng mà. Thế rồi, cùng nghỉ ngơi một chốc lát. Tôi sẽ lên kèo tiếp trong nhóm nha anh em ơi. Nha, đợi tí nha.
The top half of the playoff bracket.
Yeah, and if I'm not maybe I don't want to get too much into that, but now if they go 1-3, like maybe you go from that night's, the night tournament where you might have to play a group Ascend team pretty soon on, right? Because if you get low in the group Perseverance, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a little too far ahead of myself.
So the way that it works, I know. If you're lower in Perseverance, you're gonna play Group Nirvana, and then you have to play 2 best of 5s to make it in.
So you have to get an extra one. Okay, yeah.
If you're the top half, you don't have to worry about that. Perseverance and 1 and 2 seeds will get at least 1 playoff. They only play 1 best of 5, but they can sing in a lower bracket. Again, little far from now. We don't have to worry about that. What I'm more excited about is that Thunder Talk is winning games.
Yeah, it's Thunder Talk. You talked about it, right? This is the best scenario for both teams. You play a team yesterday, you have immediate tape, you know the styles, and I mean through one game, Thunder Talk prepped better. How else do you describe this?
The prep was. It's hard to enumerate on what their prep was, but the setup was good. There was that one really tragic mid-game fight that I think we could have came back to if we saw this as an EDG win and be like, that's the moment where they would have won the game. But TT, they held on, they kept their advantage, and we just had solid team fighting. That was a very easy to execute composition. Jarvan, Orianna, let them run wild, go straight into the back line.
Yeah, and for EDG, how many of those improvement plan points did we not focus on EDG? I will say, actually, funnily enough, I don't think a lot of these were too applicable to this game. I think Leave positioned decently. Like the only time he gets caught was because of Perukia. I think Perukia's like the one time that he went super ham on an engage by himself. It was actually to sacrifice so that they could get a dragon to stop Soul Point, so it was kind of worth. And then they tried to play for Angel, but I think Angel's actually the one that kind of ruined that last fight.
Yeah, Angel flying in underneath the inhibitor turret.
That too, right?
Dicey. That makes it really tough. The solo lanes just got gapped this game. Like, you cannot play this Sehen champion into a stronger laner, even with some of the nerfs that Best has gotten. And Angel just had a very quiet game. He is a great team fighter, but he doesn't have the same explosivity that we expect from some of our top players, and obviously then messed up and threw the game, kind of. Like, we countered through because we were already in a good spot. They threw towards us, and we're like, we don't actually want the W. Take it back.
They were so hell-bent on being the new team to throw themselves forward that they realized, they failed to realize that all they really had to do a lot of this game was kind of survive that initial shock engage, and they could play out the rest of these fights. Like Lethal Tempo Azir, Yunara, these two carries love Zahen. These carries love extended fighting, and you'll see it in some of these fights. They do end up winning. They played too much with their gold at the end of that game one. So it ends up costing them as we get to look back at some of these pretty close fights. And right now we'll see how the pendulum starts swinging a bit more back into EDG's favor, especially this extended bout.
Hey, you said right there, you were like, hey, Perukia, sometimes you don't always have to go in for 3-man engages, but that time we'll give him a pass.
Yeah, because it staved off Soul, right?
Yeah, it staved off Soul. It also made that the carries on TT were not in a good spot. This was one of the good sweeps, but I have to say, I'm sure that EDG were saying, like, hey, we had stronger lanes. If Sehen wasn't behind, if we had, maybe a better support matchup, maybe it gets easier.
We don't have to go for this.
I mean, yeah, we have Baron. We have range. We can just wait. Like, it always comes down to that same, like, explanation or kind of, like, metaphor that, like, if you could extend your life by just waiting, you have a gun to your head, and if you wait 5 minutes, the likelihood that the gun goes off goes down like 30%. You take it every time. You just wait for the 5 minutes. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and what were we getting on Thunder Talk for when they were in the lead, right? Going for too much, trying to push the envelope a bit too much further. We need to hold EDG to the same accountability, even more so, because this is a team that has a lot more players. I mean, we showed the, what was it, the ZDZ Angel graphic, like 900 plus games in tier 1 versus 91 or something. Like, you got to be better than that, EDG.
you have almost 100x the amount of games that these guys have in Tier 1 between the two of you. But, you know, we're back to the drawing board, and for Thunder Talk, I was a little worried that review was going to be sad because that fight around Dragon was really disappointing. There we go. Now we're in a better spot.
It's like 90x, by the way.
Just round up. Just round up.
Fair enough.
Thunder Talk. Man, I'm excited now because I was really ready for a 2-0 EDG, and you know, like we'll just get into JDG BLG. I'm sure there's fans at home right now that are like, God damn it, I have to wait another game.
That's true. Somebody check on Mark Rafa, wherever he is. Not doing well, brother. I know he's not out there. Player of the game, though, Mr. Dimitri. Who do you gift it to? Because I think there's two clear options.
I think it could be Keshi. I think it could be probably Junhao. I think that his Jarvan was really good. But Keshi, like, he stomped his lane, and then he also won like multiple fights with his best. We're giving it to Ryan. All right, look.
No, man.
The bullet times were good. Look.
No. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to do anything. He's playing Misfortune. He presses R, and his Mbessa goes and multi-kills people.
If that was that simple, then we wouldn't be seeing this champion. Then, you know, some other people shouldn't be deserving MVPs. I don't make the rules,
right,
man.
I don't either. But I'm an 80 carry flaming and 80 carry MVP pick. If that doesn't tell you enough, I don't know what will. But what a refreshing breath, gust of air coming into our group perseverance matchup here. Thunder Talk. You know, they caught it. They caught the proverbial win. They bobbled it a little bit, and then they, you know, secured the catches. They went to the ground, unlike some Bills wide receivers. Thunder Talk come across with a Game 1 win. We'll see if Edward Gaming can stop the slide before they see themselves at the bottom half of group perseverance. Game 2 will be a big indicator of that. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break for that Game 2 draft. Welcome everybody back to twitch.tv/LPL English or youtube.com/LPL_English as we are potentially approaching the halfway point in our night. I'm going to say it on air because, okay, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn. Guys, if you don't know, we're on the west coast of the U.S., so like we're going into what could be our second of not, like, what is it? Fifth of 9 games, the way this day is shaping up. So I'm going to say it on air right now. We're going to get 9 games. We're going to get 9 games. We're going to get 9 games. 9 games. 9 games. I work tomorrow.
There you go.
Cut the microphone. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's talk game 2. Game 2. What has to happen all for Thunder Talk to you feel to keep up this 2-0? Another easy to execute composition, maybe?
Maybe, honestly, like, just keep it stupid simple, right? Like, if we really have to, there's still plenty of champions. Wukong is still available. We can't do Ori Nocturne anymore, which would be a little bit easier to execute on. But, I mean, look, if we're going to be kind of using strong laning champions to maybe hide or mask some of our deficits, I think that's okay, right? Like, that's on the enemy team to try to abuse. If you're going to get away with that, then hey, a win's a win, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're going to come out of the series. We're going to look back at the end of the year and be like, cool, Thunder Talk was X in some amount of games, right? Like, sure, that's fine.
Now, the question is, you know, for ease of execution, it gets a little bit more complex because Fearless has taken away a lot of champions that I would associate that both fit into the Venn diagram middle of easy to execute, but also fit into our meta. Like the top 80 carry, I would think it would be Misfortune. Jungle mid combination would probably be, I mean, Jarvan Orianna or like Nocturne Orianna, but losing the Orianna, you know, gets rid of that. So what champions do you expect Thunder Talk to maybe try and prioritize? More importantly, though, for EDG, actually, I want to ask you this. They have first selection now. Are you expecting to see them
Nào,
like
tiến đến phần banh bích thôi.
You expect them to try and pick for first pick? Maybe they want to get counter picks for safer lanes.
Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư vô. Rồi tìm thấy ra đánh mắt. Nào, bích nhanh đi. Cái tối nay có Việt Nam đá đấy anh em.
We'll have to see something a little bit different from him. There's also still Cassante, Jax in the top lane. There's plenty of answers up there. So I wonder what the arms race is going to look like for our solo lanes going into this game.
Yeah, especially a guy like Kesha.
Em nghĩ tối nay liệu Việt Nam sẽ thắng mấy không? Việt Nam sẽ thắng mấy không anh em?
He played Mbessa game 2 against Edward Gaming yesterday. He played the Renekton game 1. I'd like to see Thunder Talk, you know, keep the carries in his hands because I don't know how reliable we feel Ryan can be on a carry or, you know, any other position. So keep the old proverbial thought, keep riding the hot hand.
Yeah, for sure. Man, Thunder Talk, please don't do this to me because this would be really sad if we win our first game of the season fairly early on and against EDG and then we just completely biff the rest of the series. I think that would be really heartbreaking for them, and probably a necessary series with not just setting the stakes and maybe getting an upset here versus EDG, but you want to set the mood right for the rest of the season because this is you're going to go into 3 splits, and you're still going to have to play a best of 5. Really looking forward to it. EDG, they have first pick coming in. We'll see what their priority is. No Nico ban.
Gió ơi, này là gió đến chưa?
Some staple bands you always see coming through. Not much more to touch on. All right, you know what? Thunder Talk, I think they're doing a good job on the easy execution. You know, Vi Talia. It's a great, you know, season assist, seismic shove. You find one person, you blow them up. Not bad.
All right, Angel, what do we play? It could be Rise. I think the Rise versus Talia matchup is fine, and Rise is going to get a lot of value later as a champion, just in terms of time, and I think as a setup for Nico, it's great. Going for Leave Kaisa.
Yep.
I'm worried. I don't think you're allowed to play
đen xanh đỏ.
There are still plenty
of anh em bọn ta chơi siêu nhân gạo. There is even things still like the Sivir that you can need to be aware of, so very early slam here for the AD carry of EDG.
This is the bottom lane they ran in game 2. just an eye to go to get the win of the series over Thunder Talk. So we'll see again, kind of back to that how well do we study tape kind of idea, getting the same exact bottom lane the Thunder Talk we another look at. You mentioned the Corki, easy slam dunk there for Ryan. So now that we move into the second phase of bans, Thunder Talk are going to try and take away some comfortability for Angel into this Talia. I like that idea.
Yeah, Ari's a good look. Now, we did see Angel play Malzahar last night. I don't think we're likely to see that champion again, but we'll see.
Từ với cả đen sang đỏ chẳng anh em bọn ta như siêu gào.
In my mind, if we're not looking for that, then I don't really know what Keshi's going to be immediately opting for. I do think that a Jax is always a good choice into a Kaisa later on into a
Ngày thiền rời xa bến anh em ta chơi nhạc vang không xến.
What's this last band? It's Nautilus and is it Braum? Is it Nautilus and Rakan? It's Leona instead.
Okay. Maybe try to take away that solar flare stun that would allow Junhao to get the ball rolling on that Vi cease and assist into the Talia. I don't know. Would a Rakan be a good look? Oh.
No,
Malka.
do not pick this. This is fake.
No?
This champion. I think this champion in support is so terrible. You have no resistances. You really are a champion that really kind of wants to just be left by his lonesome. We're going for Nami. Strong lane pair and smash the Nico. Nico's been falling really high. Still very highly prioritized, but definitely falling in terms of relevance and strength that we saw from her just, 4 months ago. So I like the tentative look at this. Again, we said play simple to play compositions, strong early laning phases, and then try to just snowball over your opponents at this point. And we're seeing EDG continue to just play for later in the game. Let's play for 2 items. Let's play for 20 and 25 minutes here.
What TT are playing for, though, by picking up that Nami now, is they're playing for a Keshi counter pick. So you see the Scion. Maybe this is a Jax thing. I have a lot of fun with the Jackson of the Scion. Think you can run wild. Maybe do you want to play Yorick to try and split up style of a Wukong, a Nico, a Kaisa?
Cái gì đây?
I don't know. I think Jax is really
EDG với đội hình đẹp quá. EDG với đội hình đẹp vậy.
You don't want to counter pick yourself into Scion, because then Scion just hoover ups all of your minions and is unkillable.
Tôi nghĩ tôi sẽ đi EDG đấy anh em ơi.
Talia and Corki are not going to cut it.
EDG tiếp thôi.
All right, we're finally getting some more AP tops, and Gwen is
EDG tiếp nè.
side lane versus every single one of these champions. If Kesha gets an advantage in this game,
cái kèo EDG rồi.
Yeah, and certainly tank shreds. The way you can build Gwen now with the possibilities. It's gonna be fun here. We've seen a lot of talk about the new AP items, how disgusting they are, and a lot of different champions, mainly the AP Jax builds we've been seeing. We'll see how.
Với cả đen xanh đỏ. Anh em bọn tao như siêu gào. Ôi, trừ 8.5 á cũng được.
Keshi's Gwen will
Được
rock
anh em ơi.
those new build paths here.
Game 2.
The main thing I see here, though,
EDG
man, we
trừ
are gonna
8.5.
start stacking team fights like flapjacks. There is no range in this game whatsoever.
No, but if there's a leave Kaisa in the game, there's probably going to be an engage somewhere in terms of this game. So we'll see what was on the table here. I think with Thunder Talk, you have strong bottom lane, you have a good enough top lane matchup, and you can't lane swap anymore because of the quests. So this is tough. I think you get a Gwen with the top quest already done, and she gets a ton of XP. This is very dangerous. I think that EDG need to find ways of getting objectives, whether it's dragons or elsewhere. Otherwise, they just lose this game if we go even.
We'll have to see. A precarious spot for EDG. We are in new territory. The second round robin has officially started here for Group Perseverance, and Thunder Talk are already feeling a new sort of vibe, bringing themselves in to try and shake up Group Perseverance even more. EG looking to claw things back. Down 0-1 as we hit the rift again, and already see Angel find a pretty nice trade into Heru, and yeah, with those new minion timers, no reset. Nope, can't do it.
He's gonna have to sit, chugs one of his pots, and hope that he can survive for the time being. I'm taking a look at runes. Nothing too surprising. Cash back for most of her variety carries. That's fine. Is a Conqueror and a Revitalize here for the Gwen. So just more healing, more survivability, and it's going to be really tough. So I want to see how ThunderTalk transition the lead that they'll have from their bottom lane, expected anyway. And how do we get Keshi? Because Keshi was kind of the best part of the first 15 minutes here for ThunderTalk in this game one.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We do have both junglers pathing away from the top.
Gà nó
top side as
chưa.
well. The one advantage
Vãi cô bomber sang.
How is going to be the fact that Vi doesn't need to get to level 6 to be super impactful on gank paths. I'd like to see Junhao get a bit creative here. Maybe look for something early, especially maybe into a bottom lane that will potentially be pushed in. But I mean, range versus melee in the mid lane. You mentioned how the Nami can kind of cancel out a lot of Nico's threat in the lane, and obviously Gwen versus Sion. At the very least, Junhao's going to get that protection we always talk about. Vi really needs to do her first clear with these lane advantages.
Could also just look for something. I know you were kind of hinting at it there. So I think for right now, it's when we talk about jungle, it does feel like a role that has a lot of value. The fact that they turned down the quest from 40 to 35 just means that getting those smite upgrades really, really impactful. So making sure that you're staying on top of your camps, making sure that you're just hitting them, just because it has so much inherent value thanks to upgrading your smite. We haven't seen too many early active jungles, but I mean, hey, I'll take it. Like, we have a Wukong and a Vi, just give me to my level 6s and let's start praying.
All right, for the time being, Heru holds an HP advantage in mid lane. You see Ryan and Feather have bottom lane pressed up for now, and both junglers are going to come down towards the Scuttle Crab around the same time. Xiao Hao, thanks to the nature of red side though, is there first. Junhao has to Vault Breaker over the wall to find it. So this looks like it's going to be a smite battle here potentially, or they're just going to start throwing hands themselves. All right. Staff versus glowing fists. Xiao Hao is winning hard. He's going to flash to make sure the Vault Breaker doesn't get over, but Junhao wisely holds it instead of immediately dashing, and Xiao Hao gets the Scuttle Crab he always wanted for, just the price of his flash.
I mean, Wukong is always able to duel way better than the Vi there, so very risky from ThunderTalk. I know they wanted to get the lanes involved, but mid was getting impacted, bottom lane was crashing in the middle of the lane, and so we saw Leave and Pruki actually start to hover towards the river. Makes it impossible for ThunderTalk to get much more than that. It'll just be the scuttles that are traded, and for now, it's a small advantage for ThunderTalk, but I think rather meaningless for the time being.
Getting into his groove up against ZZ, already a level up here.
Bóng em thả trôi vì giờ này còn hư vô.
On the mind of Z. See how much
Tìm thấy ra đánh mất chưa kịp trao em.
I think being Grubs on the Gwen as well continues to push that prevailing point you made that nobody should be able to deal with an ahead Gwen in the side lane.
Ôi, hôm nay là VCT á.
Grubs will make that an even bigger problem later into this game.
Oh yeah. See what we can get. Again, early jungle pathing. Doesn't seem like we're getting much out of the ordinary. Xiao Hao is about 5 seconds ahead of his enemy jungler right now, so what that means for the game, I don't think it's going to have a huge impact, but oh, Ryan, don't die right here, please. You have to give up this wave now. But what I was kind of getting at is whether or not Xiao Hao is going to have opportunities to maybe sneak in a very quick level 6 in comparison.
Oh wow, he's trying to fake out Ryan there, but Rukia, bit of a gamble. Right.
That was a visual bug. That was a visual bug.
Okay,
still got the flash from Rukia. We'll take that.
And there's another flash. Heru has to flash away from Angel. Perfect execution. Kill threat there. Starting to sway the mid lane a bit more here. So some key flashes to take note of. We have Dragon on the Rift now, and Grubs in about under 3 minutes. So all those flashes you just saw expelled will not be available for either of those big heroes.
ZDZ's got to be careful, because there's an ultimate here for Keshi. And if ZDZ walks up, tries to take a little bit too much damage, you just unload with those 1,000 cuts, and the Scion turns into paper mache at that point. Looks like Keshi's just going to instead look for a recall, maybe go into Fog of War and make a trip down. Just gets his Fey Lights here on top side. Junhao is starting this. I don't like this, but I think that the buttons that TT have pre-ultimates are just significantly better than their opponents. And EDG just say, look, we're not going to look for anything. So all that hubbubaloo of Angel trying to trade, of Xiao Hao using his flash early,
Rồi
not
sao?
turning into very much here for Edward Gaming.
Chúng ta đã lỡ duyên mà lỡ luôn cả phận.
So you'll have to say
Tôi chỉ vừa mới tắt Bluetooth thôi mà. Bluetooth thì ảnh hưởng gì? Bluetooth không ảnh hưởng nha. Nào, sao lắc rồi? Đây rồi. Sao cả?
I'll be a little critical of Ryan. From what we have seen every time we've panned down to this bot lane, those anybody relevant. And that's a big part of the lane. If you play Corki Nami, Gatling gun, Valkyrie forward, throwing Frost bombs, all of those proc the Tycoon's blessing, and that's a large chunk of burst damage early on into the game. But without any of this poke landing, Leave is just freely farming, has the call a little bit earlier than Ryan does as well, so we're getting to a really, really big pivotal part. Feather already has level 6, which I think is really impressive, but as long as nothing else happens and Perukia still gets access to that ultimate, probably not by now, but definitely for the second dragon of the game, I think EDG are okay with the state of the game.
I wonder if Feather wants to utilize that ultimate towards the top side of the map, but
Rồi.
have neither bottom lane shown that they want to reset to maybe get the supports back on the map.
AC đây lướt lên chắc là khá đau. Tí này. Nó thường qua. Bước đi rồi. Lần cuối cùng.
Did you know that there's a Viego skin that's coming out soon?
I tried to not think about it because then I'm going to start thinking like I don't have a bank account to worry about.
I mean, you work here, so that's not usually a huge concern for people. But
I watched what's his face Electro. I watched him talk about all the many combos of the skin. It's really cool.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll make sure to check him out. No, I don't think we're allowed to do this. I think we're getting one and we're out. Nope. No one else is here yet, buddy.
Let's see if he can juke the. All right, he gets away from that vault breaker block. But yeah, I think TT have backed themselves into, hey, maybe they can walk in and take one from Xiao Hao.
No, okay.
You'll let the third one go. Nope, stands his ground, and I don't think you're vault breakering back forward. All right, so I think that's a pretty big win for EDG, taking a lot of the steam, the gas out of Keshi's side lane Gwen Exodia.
They just recognize they don't have a lot of damage. Like Vi Talia isn't the most versus a Wukong and an Akali. And also, Rukia showing up there because he's wearing he's cosplaying as Leave in that fight. They don't actually know that he's level 5 during that. That is probably a little bit influential as to
dạ mì 9 phút không ra một mạng hạ gục. Chó má.
Asking, they lost almost all the dragons early, and they didn't get any of the rubs nor the arrow.
Nhưng ta cách xa xin vận vui nhớ lại anh cố nhìn về thực ai không ấy lại để nhớ em thấy có cần mơ tí tách.
That play started forming on the top side. How highly are we grading ZDZ's early game on his Scion? I feel like he's doing a wondrous job.
Yeah, Scion is a very disgusting champion, so not surprised to see that some can be a bit of a lane bully. I think we've seen multiple times where even in slightly really ridiculous, so he's good. He has a unit Rook on. Soul Furnace is one of the more important abilities on this champion. If you can get that procced off of right next to someone, that's a lot of damage. He's going to come back to this lane. Keshi, I don't think, really gets a ton of time hitting this turret. He gets a turret plate, but the wave's already dead. Keshi
takes a turret shot. He's just going to get walked down. Maybe not. ZDZ, you know what? It's mental warfare. He's like, all right, Keshi, your time in this lane is over.
If he did not miss the decimating smash, I think he should have just solo killed him there. So good play from Keshi. He got himself the turret plate. Going down half HP after he just teleported. Not the best, however.
Ow.
That's second dragon of the game.
Thứ 11 mới ra mạng đầu tiên. Đéo hiểu.
Amazing. Perukia has been really mind gaming them here in this one. Not only with the first back that we saw going up against Ryan, but even here, it just has them completely cooked when it comes to movements of the flow.
That was nice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Thundertalk, especially Ryan. I mean, you knew he tried that on you earlier in stocking back. So it's a substantial goal manifesting now for Edward Gaming. And a lot of that right where they want it for those team fights later on. As you see, Xiao Hao completes the Trinity Force, and that is 9 of advantage over the Sundered Sky. Leave is cruising himself to a
Gió
lead.
đưa tiền là gió vấn vương, anh vẫn còn một chút vấn vương. Nào, bây giờ ở đây anything is possible. Cái gì là không thể.
Maybe suffer at different points in the game, but we're ahead. And a lot of that is in Leave. We've had a lot of criticisms for this guy. He's now returning back to EDG, his original org that he found success on in the youth program. And
Bây giờ đây
so far, the
Barukia.
season in 2026 has been significantly tougher than it was on NIP. And obviously, expectations are just a little bit more grand. EDG came into last year with, okay, we're going for a slightly different rebuild. We're going to have some older guys. We're going to look to really try to farm most of Group Nirvana and maybe take a couple.
Bây giờ nào đi ra đây, đi lên là khá hay này. Dí theo tốt luôn, đến từ vị trí có tả sung hữu đột ra đến từ vị trí của Jun Hao. Barukia vẫn còn đó, quăng địa chấn thì Barukia phải nằm xuống. Ok. Tiền được rút về đâu đó là còn 1k này. EDG Lip, bây giờ Lip bị mắc kẹt giữa cái đội hình của các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk. Nào Lip bị bắn nhưng mà Lip quay trượt trở lại, Lip bắn chết được vị trí của Feather. Có quăng địa chấn là hay. Ok, bắn tiếp đến từ vị trí của Lip, bản năng sát thủ được bật lên và đó sẽ là 2 mạng hạ gục dành cho các thành viên với EDG. Ok, gáp lên lại luôn là 2.000 tiền. Đó là mạng hạ gục reset tiền. Ơi gió ơi, này là gió đến chưa? Nào, giờ đánh như nào đây?
2,500 gold here for EDG, and almost like 2/3 of that is now on to this AD carry. He's gonna have his support quest or his AD carry quest done now. He's gonna get so much gold going.
Bây giờ ván này mà EDG win thì lại ra ván 3.
Oh my god! He has 2 items at 14 minutes. 2 item Kaisa. Get me out of this one, guys. TT, you tried. It's very early on. Look, you can just scrap this one and put this one in the books. An ambitious look. I know you need to look for something. It really sucks that Haru ended up flashing, but he tries to take a slightly greedier path down in the bottom side. Leave showing a lot of patience. The flash, I think maybe expecting that Junhao would do a short-changed Q, but still doesn't matter. Then we get to see the second part of this. Perfect execution. Great cancel there as Angel stands in front of the Vault Breaker from Junhao. And then a Void Seeker comes in, gets enough damage that Angel can wrap that one up, and then the rest is history. Bot lane tier 1 taken, another kill going over to Leave. I mean, now, Slayer, the game is near unplayable for Thunder Talk. They don't have enough damage to kill the tank top laner.
Nope.
And we're never fighting if Kai'Sa's even remotely in the area.
And we have to go in a way because we have a Vi, and we have a colleague that's also ahead playing against Enchanter support. So you know how that one goes. Yeah, it's rough looks here. Look how tanky ZZ is. Yep, that's basically a full combo for Kechi. Does ZZ lose this with? I don't even think he loses this with Junhao. All right, cancels the Vault Breaker. He's gonna flash out. That is an audacious season desist, Mr. Junhao. Decimating smash. Luckily, doesn't catch him under the turret. But that's not a good sign for Thunder Talk. Oh my god.
We're going for the turret. Oh, Junhao's gonna get solo killed. Junhao's solo killed.
Oh yeah, ZDZ, that's my brush.
He can literally just stand here and take the entire turret. Doesn't matter. Yep. Kanik, Rookern, he'll have Soul Furnace in 3 seconds. This entire time, EDG are hitting the top tier when they're gonna summon the Herald. Are they gonna go mid with this play? Because I think there's a very real explanation that we could look for. No, never mind. We're just gonna take 3 plays on top lane. Okay. And they get the teleport. Damn, this is such a good play here for EDG. They are really squeezing on every part of the map. They have no avenues. They have no way to play for the rest of this game. It doesn't get any easier, and it's not like maybe, just maybe, if Ryan gets his Muramana in the next 5 minutes, that's something, but...
Well played. Leave gets away from the seismic shove, though. Disgusting amount of damage you can trade back, but
Okay.
Those slippery stones made it so he was going to get stunned no matter what dash he used, and that's was able to get a pretty good kill back. I believe Ryan picks up on that boatload of gold.
Ryan does pick up this kill, but I'm just the rest of the map is in ruins right now for TT. We're not able to push on mid wave. We're gonna go top lane to try to make something happen onto ZDZ again. He has ultimate coming up in 5 seconds. There's no objective to play for. The dragon spawning in now, actually. It's already up. So, I mean, it bought time here for Thundertalk. It gave them a moment to breathe. That's really it.
They have no reason to try and contest this dragon. Third one of the game with a split. We're going to start seeing how Angel can maybe take over this side lane because it's definitely scary for Haru going forward. The innate burst that a colleague can bring to the table. Also the
bây giờ
the Hextech Gunblade.
giờ đánh như nào ở đây? Casey.
It's kind of a ridiculous amount of AP. Burst. At least Keshi's getting some plates back, but again, it's just such a problem that he'll never ever get to kill ZDZ unless this game goes like 45 minutes and this Gwen is like level 2.
Rồi nào.
All the items needed to tank shred.
EDG gap 3,6k tiền. Ok. 36 rồi anh em. Lên phím đi. Lên phím đi, lên phím đi, lên phím đi. Ok nào. Bây giờ đánh như nào ở đây Angel? Peter đi ra đây như nào nữa? Ryan ơi. Dạ má sao tê giò quá ta. Tê giò gì nãy giờ luôn á.
An additional on hit of all your on hit passives and effects with Gwen is not okay. It's the reason why in
lại là 3 game.
She is almost 55% win rate. There's no reason for this champion.
Nào tỉa là khá tốt này. Ryan 3, Eru ok.
It's unfortunate. I know it's just such it's a microcosm of all the small mistakes that Thundertalk have made in this game. All right, so Slayer, we don't even have a Muramana spike coming up soon. So like, I'm at a loss as to what exactly Thundertalk can kind of do for the next 2 minutes.
Farm really well and give everything that they can afford to give, which isn't a lot. They can't really afford to give Baron. Lost a lot on that. I mean, I'm also looking at Haru. I mean, this build where it's at, we're tickling people. We are not hurting people. What? Blackfire torches or no? Is that a Leandries? What am I thinking? So Leandries, Seraphs. Like there is no damage in this to Liam.
Nope. So I'm just looking directly at top lane Gwen's 52, 53. It's about 55% win rate. If you don't have this item, suddenly all of her win rates just go down like an insane amount. At least 2% in each category. So. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
Lot of milk you lose.
Exactly. You don't even get all of the fat with it. It's just
fat too.
It's tough.
Yeah, I think EDG can just do whatever they want.
Viết cho đôi ta, viết cho những câu chuyện khi xưa giờ đã qua.
Any waves near this top lane tier 1 turret. Can't really break this sort of curtain energy of stuff around the top side of the map. It's really dark. Nobody can see behind it. Nobody can see the turrets now. Less pressure. Now Junau's getting jumped on his own.
Rồi nào ok, nào lên tốt. Đã ra cho mình là cái sóng thần. Nó như đã ra 2 game thì đánh nhanh đi. Đã ra 3 game thì đánh nhanh đi. Game này đánh nhanh đi được không? Game này end đâu đó tầm 20 phút thì sao? Chuẩn bị qua phút thứ 21 mẹ ơi. GG không? TT GG không? Ta sẽ GG không? Rồi. Bây giờ ở đây Casey đi lên. Casey vẫn đang cắt vào người của JDG. Casey đang đánh lên là khá tốt. Có TLL lên để hỗ trợ đến từ vị trí của Angel. Angel sẽ dí nào bật đúp lên các thứ dí vào và chắc chắn sẽ là mạng hạ gục dành cho các thành viên bên phía EDG. EDG họ có mạng và đó sẽ là 36. Ok 36 anh em ơi, lên phím. Lên phím 36 đây. 36 kìa, lên phím đây. Giờ đã qua.
There's the Baron. That should be Baron. Nice little to make up for Catch's impact on the other side of the map.
We are TPing to a mid wave that I think gets very little here. There is not a Weaver's Wall. Okay. EDG, I gotta say, I like how we have played this game out. We got an advantage early thanks to our bottom lane playing very well, and then we just snowballed this into more leads. We took control, we played a slow game, and we choked our opponents out. That is the EDG that I have come to know, love, and hate here in the LPL in the last year and a half.
No, things are going well when you don't even need to smite home a Baron. Take EDG secure that as we look back at the 2 picks found from Xiaohao and
Rồi, nào. Giờ sẽ đánh như thế nào đây? Đi ra nổ hoa là khá tốt, chạy lên bất bản năng sát thủ chấm dứt đi cho mình, đó là mạng hạ gục của Ryan. Cùng với đó bên kia thì khoai tây lúc xoáy chết được luôn vị trí của Theater, và đó là mạng hạ gục thứ 8.
Great job from Perugia. Yeah, I've loved we as a broadcaster love watching this player grow now.
Oh my god. All that's for Perugia, by the way. It's for the Nico support. Do they even find this trade kill? I mean, yeah, okay, they got rid of Perugia, but you'll lose out on a Junhao and use so many resources to make that pick onto the support. And push the inside track towards the mid lane. CDG, slide overgrowth, mid-tier 1 turret down, Glasgow. Audaciously throwing Keshi in the wave, the minion wave. Still a win for EDG because they have first look onto their 3rd dragon in the game that should go uncontested.
And I got sad again because I looked in Keshi's inventory and he has the alternator, which again means we're
no
not going
Dusk
for
Dawn.
Dusk and Dawn. Yeah. That's fine. It's fine. We're in the Twilight Zone. You know, there's an inability for us to get to that point anyway. So
that was a good one.
So 3rd dragon for EDG. That's soul points. This is more the EDG I think we were expecting in game 1.
Yeah, I was gonna make the comment earlier of like, I'm sure some people in the chats have tuned into this and been like, how is this Thunder Talk up 1-0? Like the way this game has gone, you would figure business as usual, just like it was yesterday. Hey, listen, Thunder Talk, this is good practice, right? Playing from behind, seeing what risks you can take to try and get back into a game. I don't think it's
Rồi nào, bây giờ đánh như nào ở đây JDG?
They've played a lot of their games from behind, not just this roster, but also last year. I don't think they need any more experience.
You can always learn.
Yes, but you have one of the things with group perseverance and Nirvana is that there are just way less games, right? Like that was why when we saw FPX and Team WE playing Group Ascend, it was such a big boon for them because they just had a significant more amount of games than they would have otherwise playing Group Nirvana. So it sucks because you don't have a lot of time to learn, you don't get a lot of games to get that experience, and then your season is over before you kind of know it. So for Thunder Talk, every single game is going to count. Every game here for them is going to matter. And for EDG, the fact that you even lost the game is kind of bad because this is supposed to be a team that comes into this and is supposed to be by and far #1 in this group. And that just never, well, I say never, hasn't yet really materialized. This is going to be if they do win the series, the 2nd series win, and both of them coming from Thunder Talk, I don't think is very impressive.
No, and to take it a bit further, right? I'm not saying that I believed coming into the season that EDG could, you know, make some noise in the playoffs up against a Group Ascend team. All right, we have to hold that thought. Angel was not expecting Junhao to be sticking around this long. Zanya's the cease and desist. Gonna flash out the seismic shove. He's doing everything he can to prolong this fight. Can he go 1-for-1 with the burst? Not if he perfect executes away. Junhao's gonna flash. The Vault Breaker doesn't land. Oh, Angel might have a chance to find this kill. Remember, he's stalling so well, the EG are getting a lot more on the map here. So this taking this long does innately hurt Thunder Talk in the immediate, that being in mid lane.
Mid lane, and we still have so much to play for. Like, EDG are just stacking so much gold. They have a 5,500 gold lead, and almost all of it is mostly in Xiaohao and Leave. And cool, they caught Angel, but it feels like every time we've talked about Thunder Talk getting a kill, it has been, sure, you got one, but everything else is kind of on fire.
Yeah, and I just watched Xiaohao and Leave each purchase a GA at the same time.
9-5 dành cho thành viên bên phía EDG rồi. Bây giờ họ sẽ nới rộng khoảng cách bằng cách nào đây? Sao để clear được trừ 8-5 nhờ? Nhưng mà hiện tại nó vẫn đang sáng mà đúng không? Rồi, nào bây giờ Heru ở đây. Đi lên đánh như nào đây? Ây da. Sao đây? À đây rồi. Má tôi nhìn thằng Heru nó nhìn nghiện thế nhờ. Nhìn nó cái thích đéo nào anh em à. Rồi ok, bây giờ ở đây đi lên khá tốt. Heru bắn bập Barukia hợp lý luôn. Ok, JDG.
Go 1 for 1, and Junhao's feeling a bit brash. He wants to go forward now. See how much damage they can do to the tank CDZ. Flashes away for another good seismic shove coming out from Heru. The chase continues. Junhao leading the way. Cease and desist is back up. Leave off to the side, looking for an angle to come back in with his GA. Angel goes back in for the backline. Feather gets deleted.
Rồi bây giờ ở đây đi lên thuộc vào là khá tốt đến từ vị trí của Angel. Lướt lên là có. Ok, EDG. Ok. Để một cú quét sạch dành cho các thành viên bên phía EDG. Chàng vào Baron luôn. Baron xong biến về, xong rồi lên combat phát nữa là clear. Ok, hợp lý. Hiện tại thì cũng đã sắp clear rồi, nhưng mà end luôn thì cũng khó. Luôn thì lại end không được, đam không đủ. Rồi bây giờ đây có tele lên đến từ vị trí của Casey. Casey đã cướp rồi. Nào muốn đánh vào vị trí của Leaf, bật luôn cho mình đó là bản năng sát thủ lướt qua phía bên kia, mất cho mình đó là cái giáp thiên thần ngôi rồi tỉ và đó sẽ là mạng hạ gục bắt lại luôn đến từ vị trí của các thành viên phía sinh đợt top. Ok, EDG sẽ win ván này chắc chắn rồi, điều chắc chắn rồi, và sẽ ra là 3-0.
Really pull off a heist here in the end of this series. The EDG have played this game so slow, controlled, and honestly, very poised, I think is the word I'd like to use here. Even with Keshi wasting this much time and Rukia dying to what is essentially just the Valkyrie leftovers and the rocks from Heru. What I want to see from EDG is let's just get one more team fight. Let's finish this game out. Let's kind of muscle our way through this one. We get to see them do this again. I don't know. Like they're so far ahead. Leave has been having a massive lead the whole game.
Rồi nào. Bây giờ ở đây sao nữa, lao lên đánh là khá tốt đến từ vị trí của sao Hào. Ok. Rồi. We can throw ourselves into Thunder Talk. I don't think we really lose here. DDZ, hey, he subscribes to this idea. Maybe a little bit too much. That's a really good Weaver's Wall from Heru. And that's a free pick on his EDZ.
I guess. Sure.
Rồi, DDZ rước ra khá hay. Ok, CKC là người có mạng.
I mean, they still have the Chemtech Soul. And they have complete control of everything that isn't directly inside of your own base. So while you killed ZDZ, we got a lot of homework still left. You are by no means out of the clear on this one.
No.
Lần này anh đi mất rồi.
Steps at least to delay the game. I mean, we've all I'm gonna say is our first series of the game had some games that really got lengthened into disgusting levels when they shouldn't have been, and I'm sure some people clicking on over from the LCK also are very familiar with the disgusting comebacks that happened tonight. That's all I'll voice to everybody.
Này em tới.
What was it over for? What was it? Wasn't like 12K and down Elder Soul for good old Faker over there in the LCK, if I'm not mistaken today?
Some things are just immovable at this point. So, come on, EDG. I know we got it in us to end this one out.
Come on, EDG.
We throw this one.
Come on, EDG. Come on, EDG.
We're done. I think we're done with the EDG experiment in 26.
If EDG lose this game, I am live calling Mark on my phone.
I think we got to get him on the. I agree. I think we do have to get him on the stream for a little bit, just to get him the real disappointment.
But I don't think that's gonna happen. So
no.
Again, don't think it's gonna happen. Hey, the Baron does run out, and Thunder Talk have all their turrets standing. So How much do we trust their wave clear right now? I mean, Talia definitely makes it decently complex.
But look at all the waves right now. Like, EDG are crashing a bottom wave and a top wave and a mid wave all at the same time. The two side lanes are going to crash on the same timers onto these turrets.
Mẹ lên đánh trụ vụ xong về. Má tao nói mà. Cái này cỡ nào cũng đánh ra tài tham, vãi cái trưởng. 100% ra tài tham ấy. Giác như thế luôn.
Until we get another Baron buff or until we get that Elder spawning, there is no reason for Thundertalk to really get out of sorts and put themselves in an even worse position here in this game.
Couldn't agree more. We do get to play this fun game called Does Keshi Ever Build Dusk and Dawn? Is that already gone? Like, is it too late? It feels like I see a Seeker, so he's going Zanya.
Well, there's not enough gold in this game. I feel like this game's ending in 3 minutes because we have an Elder and the Baron spawning before that. I don't even know if we're really going to get an Elder, but that would require massive theatrics from EDG. And if there's ever been a time Slayer that a leave gets put on, it would need to be here. It would need to be now with a 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah, it would. I will say for Ryan, with all the stall time, he is one of the bigger winners. He gets the IE done. So pretty healthy on the Corki damage by this point. He also has the armor pen to try and deal with ZDZ. Starting to catch up in levels. Heru, Bloodletters. I mean, there's still not enough AP in this kit, but does help deal with ZDZ. Am I coping? Yes. But I do think this game should have ended about 5 minutes ago. I do really believe EDG could have if they wanted to.
You're like pointing out Ryan's inventory, and Leaf just took it back and finished his 6th item. Like
yeah, that's
it's not the same game being played.
Nope, it's not.
And if this was ever, this might have been a game where we actually just needed to go LDR because the Giant Slayer passive is going to give you meaningful damage versus Scion. Alas, I am not going to hearken too much on these items. At this point, I've already proven my point that there's a massive discrepancy in terms of play here. So let's see, EDG, can we somehow baffle with our Baron take here? I mean, we have a Kaisa. This objective just disappears in front of us, right? Surely.
It definitely should. Top laners are up to level 20. We're reaching the point where we get pretty similar in levels, like Heru, nearly level 18 as well. Thundertalk feel a little bit awkwardly confident.
Now.
But they have to be very worried about Perukia. You can start a fight whenever they want. We got all Summers up. We got all GAs up for everybody included. Everything. Everything is here except for the, mountain of gold that EDG are currently clinging onto as they will now start the Baron. Do Thundertalk just give this up to try and have first position for Elder?
They have vision of this. They just use the redemption from Nami, so they know this is going down half HP here. There's a Perukia engage potentially coming on through, but everybody's teleporting for this play. This could be a huge turning point in the game or the final point.
All right, there's the tidal wave.
Rồi nào, ok, bây giờ đây đi ra lao ra combat Baron, bản năng sát thủ bên phía bên kia, Leaf vẫn đang bắn Leaf, được bắn Leaf bắn thẳng vào đầu của Ryan. Heru đang quăng cục đá, quăng mẹ game đi, thề đấy. Thôi rồi, end game và kèo về anh em ơi, end game và kèo về, end game và kèo về, end game và kèo về nhá, end game và kèo về, hi hi. Rồi ok, nghỉ ngơi một tí, chúng ta sẽ cùng đến với game 3, cuộc đối đầu giữa các thành viên bên phía EDG và Thundertalk. Game cuối ra 3 game nữa chịu. Game cuối ra 3 game nữa chịu. Rồi giờ đánh game này xong, giờ nghỉ khoảng chừng 10 phút. Đánh game sau luôn. Tại sao ngoài CṳNG Dương Đông với lại BLG nó cũng ra 3 game quá nhờ.
Wow. I'm still worried, man, because like the draft looks so good. We mess up a couple of bottom lane plays, and I want to give credit to where it's due. Perukia had a fantastic Nami game here. He was so pivotal in so many of the fights. I would not be surprised if the advantage or the MVP ends up still going to leave, just because he kind of has the big boom boom damage, and he's also like a 15-2 Kaisa in this game.
Yeah.
But still, I do think Perukia was essentially the foundation for that happening.
I agree. But at a certain point, when the boom numbers are way too high, you just got to give the award over. Unlike what they did to give Ryan the award last time. That's not the same thing, folks. This is going to be a lot different. You'll see in the post-game graphics. All right, well, I mean, that is becoming a pretty reliable bottom lane for EDG to go towards, at least in group perseverance. I think if they're ever at a spot where they really need to win a game or they want to start a series off right against any of these group perseverance teams, get Leave a Kaisa and get Perukia Nico, and they should smash every bottom lane in front of them.
Just how? How do we mess that up? How do we... I don't know. I'm disappointed. I'm a little sad, especially because you really wanted 9 games today, and it is trending toward... We will at least
really wanted 9
have
games
8
today.
games. We'll have at least 8 games tonight.
Smiling because what's the LeBron meme? Smiling because I love my life.
Yeah.
That's me right now. I don't have a life because we're going to 9 games.
I had something a lot meaner set up for that, but
Oh, okay. Well, that's lovely to know.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? I had a really mean insult to say to you. Like, how am I
It means
supposed
that
to
I held
respond to
back. I'm being nice.
that? Okay, true. All right. Leave damage, top of the board.
Yeah.
There's your player of the game. Hey, you know what? Thunder Talk, you got that one Infernal, Drake, man. That's all you
Got a
that's all
300 gold lead.
and that's all you get on that. That's such a depressing column. Oh, man.
I mean,
you know what?
I mean, they got nothing else.
Not the most one-sided game we saw today, though.
I really was exaggerating there. It felt like it was 15-2. 8-1 is...
Wow, yeah, you are seriously marking up some numbers around here. That's
anything
nearly
to
half
get the
the
leaf
kills.
propaganda. That's anything to get that leaf propaganda up, okay?
Respect the
I've been
hustle.
having too many of the casters on the desk here. I've been putting leaf positioning clips in our storyboard meeting.
Okay,
so
yeah, but they're deserved. They were deserved.
not if they 2-1 Thunder Talk.
Oh my God, that is the single most cope saying I've ever heard you say on broadcast. Not if they 2-1 Thunder Talk? Come on, Hulk.
If they 2-1 Thunder Talk, then obviously they must be the best team here in Group Perseverance.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite part is you try to laugh through this entire thing.
Hey,
Are you
has
reading the
NIP
script from Mark?
has NIP beaten Thunder Talk? No. All right then.
No,
Let's
they haven't.
keep the respect on them, okay?
All right, man. I'll let you run with this one. You know what you're doing, nonetheless.
You know what? Actually, I just realized something. How the hell is Thunder Talk playing EDG a second time without playing NIP first? How is that
Above my-
possible? How
above my
did we
pay
get
grade.
here?
Maybe it's
like-
something. Maybe that's something with like the stadiums. Like maybe it was easier.
Dude, NIP don't play them until the 29th. What the?
Yeah, that is really weird. How does
Shouldn't
that
we
happen?
have? We could have slotted this a little bit better. All right, we're finding ways of not talking about this game because this was.
Well, what are we
very
supposed to
boring.
say? Yeah. All right. Let's give our player the game over to Leave and get set here for game 3. This will be the first game of this. Did Thunder Talk have first selection coming into the series?
No, that was EDG.
Okay, so this will be the first time TT can play around with. Do they want the counter pick? Do they want the first selection? What side do they want? So that's an interesting thing to look out for.
That'd be really funny if they're like, we want to play on blue side, and they're like, oh, cool. EDG's like, great, I love first pick.
Yeah, because haven't both games been TT blue side, EDG first
Yep.
pick? Yeah.
Yep. So give it to me, please. If God is good, you give. God damn it. All right. Well,
You knew it was going to Leave, even if your inflated numbers were a little ludicrous.
there's a 15 somewhere here on this graphic. We just got to put it together.
There you go. Very quick math there from all. All right, I'm shutting down this rabbit hole of cope that Alk has sent us down here with Edward Gaming. They are
16-1.
they are victorious. They keep the series alive. We go to a game 3 on the road to 9 games on a Friday morning night. What a time it is to be at LPL English. We'll see you guys after a short break for Game 3, our final game from Group Perseverance tonight. Showdown time here in our second series of the night, the group perseverance feature. It's been a pretty fun bout here. Thunder Talk come out swinging, get some revenge for the 2-0 sweep from yesterday, and then EDG remind them why they're the big boy in group perseverance in many people's minds, with a very clean Game 2 win to set up an intriguing Game 3. Unless you believe EDG are back in form, then maybe not that intriguing.
Well, look, anything can happen. I think the largest principle I've had on this show is that if you can blow up one Nexus, you can blow up two. You've shown the possibility of winning a game. And I think that is the most important part that Thunder Talk need to be focused on. We can close out this series. We are the heavy underdogs here in this series. I think EDG have shown that they have been willing to kind of play a little bit more loosely versus them. Now it's Game 3. Now I think it's time for you to show us whether or not you got it.
Listen, 1 is infinitely bigger than 0. So that's true. Yeah, blowing up 1 Nexus is infinitely more Nexi than blowing up 0 Nexus. Yeah, we'll see, because I do think, you know, EDG, I think the fact that they slowed down the pace of Game 2 kind of shows that they were, like, a little bit respectful to Thunder Talk after Game 1. So there's still avenues to punish. I still don't think we've seen, like, the best form of EDG yet consistently. So there's always, like, the any given Sunday propaganda, any given Summer's
Maybe.
show. We'll have to see. It starts with the draft, though. So with first selection available, what will set Thunder Talk on the right path forward in your mind to pulling off this upset?
I really do think we need to be looking at what the suite of AD junglers is left and whether or not we are going to give another carry over to Keshi, because while the Ambessa was great, the Gwen wasn't as awesome, and there are not as many tanks left in the top lane. There's maybe an Ornn. There's still Cassante in my mind. So what are we getting for the jungle top here? Because those have been so far the most impressive lanes for Thunder Talk.
All right, we'll have to see here. Curious to see what route they want to go with, because I do think, like, first selection is super valuable, especially into, like, the end of a Fearless draft where there's, like, going to be a couple clear-cut champions that are very good to get. But I do think Thunder Talk could benefit from, like, trying to get Keshi in an advantageous matchup again, if he builds the champion correctly, maybe, or for the matchup. But, like, if they could get it maybe his Renekton, that's, like, a nice spot to be in. We'll have to see here. I think Keshi has been the most impressive player for Thunder Talk, so going towards that is never going to hurt. Let's see if any of those, you know, super permabanned champions slip through the draft this time. Like, do we get a Varus through? Malphite isn't banned just yet. Let's see.
Silas got banned, so that's kind of edging towards potentially seeing that Malphite. It is Thunder Talk with first pick here as we come through. EDG on the blue side. It'd be interesting to see, like you mentioned, what other bans are going to also exist.
Bạn vấn đề.
A lot of the top tier junglers are already gone, but things like Kiana still exist. That's kind of a big worry in my mind, especially if we're going to be seeing that from Xiaohao. I don't think you get that luxury as Junhao, as a player who has been on the losing end of some of these games.
A lot of people have been clamoring that AP junglers should have a place in competitive play.
True.
A lot of those are always up floating around to take if you'd like. But yeah, the Malphite is really standing out. I believe in Game 2, the first phase, Keshi did draw a Renekton ban early. Okay, so we take away the Mundo as well. Yeah, I mean, I think TT are making it pretty clear that if you leave Malphite up, they're just going to first pick it.
There's ways of getting around this. So I'm okay with giving Malphite if we're going to have something really powerful in trade. Again, if you're willing to give up Malphite, I'll take Varus. And if you're EDG, you can take Varus Cassante, and you're chilling. That's a massive blind. So they're gonna ban the Malphite. TT, please just pick Varus. This champion is like a 70+% win rate here in the LPL, and is one of the most picked champions currently in this. Right now, before today, 16-7, at least in pick and bans, and was 12-4 before today. So very nuts.
1, 6, 7.
Thank you. Perfect. I hope Chad is making fun of you, man. That was force.
Listen, yeah, that one was forced. I should have waited. The Varus does get picked up here. Pantheon should be the So this is we're making trades. We're making trades in this final draft here. So how gets a lot of map agency. Ryan's comfortable in the AD carry position. I do like this trade for EDG for one specific reason. I think he could play the Varus like everybody does, but like I don't think of Leave as like a guy that likes playing Varus. That just doesn't feel like up his wheelhouse as a marksman.
I don't think Leave likes playing poke Varus. I think Leave loves playing on hit Varus, and we've only gotten a fair few amount of those games. Again, if we're looking at another AD carry that might have been tangentially related to these two teams playing, 1xN played an amazing on hit Varus the other night. So Sivir is a good option. I like this from EDG. The Pantheon is going to give you flexibility later in the game, but a strong duelist early on. And the Sivir always going to be relevant and still a competent duelist in the first few levels of the game.
Speaking on that on-hit Varus, I'm going to at least signal the fact that we have a Sivir, a Pantheon jungle, low range. So keep stock with how many how flexible builds Varus can get. You know, we can have a little bit of fun here for Ryan, but it's something to keep note of. There can be range, at least coming out through Angel that can make things tough. Varus Nautilus, though, is a very strong lane for any AD carry to stare down, so that Nautilus you've been calling for virtually all series long will fall into the hands of Feather in the clutch game 3.
Leona's okay. I really would like to see a Braum. I think Braum does a lot of good things versus Varus, and you have a good matchup individually. It's a bit early, so I get why they would want to do that. I just think that if you have a Pantheon, you have decent enough front line, and Braum can kind of join him out there. So we'll see what Prukia ends up locking in on.
Người chơi, không cách người chơi, cách cho cũng cực thôi, để cũng được thôi, cách đi vượt thôi, thôi, nhanh, vượt thôi, cho ra đi được thôi.
Now we go into second phase. We have both of our bottom lanes chosen. I wonder if TT are going to be looking for some more top lane bans here, considering they're not going to have counter pick for top lane.
Why not jungle though, right? Like this pool's already incredibly pinched. I don't know how many champions Junhao really feels comfortable playing by this point. Yeah, get rid of the Kiana.
Rồi nào.
What else do you think you don't
Bữa
really
đi.
play against? Slash, what do you not want to see from Junhao? I mean, it's slim pickings out here. Look at the Fearless. We've lost Jarvan, Vi, Xin Zhao, Wukong from the first 2 games. Pantheon's gone, Kiana's gone. We're reaching deep into a jungle bag right now.
I think Poppy's good here. I think Poppy is very likely here for Junhao.
Nói gì cũng được thôi. Đi vượt thôi. Đánh nhanh, được lời. Được rồi khi được lời. Rồi, nào.
Them out of the fight here. So I like the Anivia ban. They're getting rid of the Malzahar. They learned from last night. We can't let this champion go through. I'm sure Angel's having a little bit of fun with that. So we'll see what he's going to be moving towards. I don't like Aurora. I think some of the nerfs have really taken her down. And again, Rise being one of the most important mid mages here.
Thâm đen.
I like the Syndra. I like the Syndra. I think she's in a great place. I think she does really good to kind of punish Rise from range. You can maybe catch, Nautilus mid-hook. Like, you can really punish any overstep here. Like, that's what Syndra is. She's the zone control champion with that Scatter the Weak. Curious to see how Angel will build her, especially now seeing the Nautilus and the Cassante. Rise for Junhao. Nocturne for Junhao. That is, one of the few junglers left that I would think that Junhao feels comfortable playing at the current spot for Season 16.
It's fine. You're going to be looking to punish on side lanes. I think, again, we're really looking for, do you have Flash? If you don't have Flash, then there's a Nocturne, there's a Nautilus.
Phải có những ngày được gọi là đồng bọn để và con dọn theo vừa chọn.
They have a lot of great range.
Chung mình chọn.
Varus is basically going to be teeing up some of these other players like a Rise, like a Nocturne to really get things done. After all of those amazing hovers from ZDZ, we're going to end up with a Gnar. So strong lanes immediately in the solo lanes for EDG. Whether or not they're going to be able to turn that into a couple of team fight wins, I think I'm going to need to see. Again, there's a big game here for Xiaohao and Peruki to really set their team up for success.
So now that you get a look at all the comps in their totality, it's going to be lethality Varus, right? I don't think there's much of an angle for anything else. Here's the one thing I do worry about TT with going with this Rise.
Đi kiểu gì ta?
low damage solo lanes until very late on, right? Well, then maybe Haru can be reliable. There's not a lot of reliable follow-up damage for Junhao with this paranoia. Unless
Để ta cộng rồi sao?
like side lane plays.
Để ta cộng đi.
Sure, I think a lot of times Nocturnal
Để ta cộng đi, để ta cộng đi.
distilled really basically into like I'm gonna press ult and someone usually is gonna die. I think
Thứ
just
ba,
the vision
để ta
denial
cộng
by
8,5.
itself is really important, especially if
shout,
they're
yeah.
around a dragon. You make it nearly impossible for Xiaohao if he's not already in the pit to get in. And then
Đội hình
try to
TT đẹp
steal
hơn anh em ơi, đội hình
also
TT
is a
đẹp
great way
hơn
of
anh em ơi.
hiding certain map movements
Đội hình
and
TT
keeping
đẹp
someone
hơn anh em ơi.
out of the map. So I kind of want to
Bố
see
mới đi tả ly, các con ghệ mày đi.
here in this game because Rise, while he doesn't have the range, I think provides a lot of great setup for the team if he's allowed to actually play the game.
Some notable stakes as we get set for the last bout on Summer's Rift between Edward Gaming and Thunder Talk Gaming. EDG looking to get back to 500, stay in reaching distance to the top of Group Perseverance, and Thunder Talk looking to shake things up with their first series win. One of those two going to become a reality by the time we are done here in our familiar battle arena.
Damn it, Slayer, we missed it. The EDG Gyos were coming out, and there were only a few of them here in the Sujo Arena. But we were close. Again, we're scaling with them. We're gonna get more of them later in the series. We've got BLG versus JDG right after this. I know a lot of folks are waiting for it. It has been the matchup to watch for tonight. So don't worry, folks. After this one, we'll be getting into that series right afterwards. But for now, big focus of the early game for me is going to be looking at EDG solo laners. You have such a good matchup in the top lane that unless Keshi can somehow flip it, I think that Xiaohao is going to have pick of the litter when it comes to whatever he wants to do in the topside jungle.
That's the unique spin to this game, game 3, right? Is the fact that both junglers can influence the map from ways away. Paranoia and obviously the Grand Starfall have a ton of range to force number advantage plays anytime on the map.
Có ngày được gọi là đồng bọn.
This is what I'm talking about, guys. If you're playing Sivir, you don't have to be afraid. Like, this champion level 1 is broken. You can throw your Q down. You have so much damage. And then the bonus movement speed you get from your passive, while small to start, is incredible. So already, Thunder Talk bottom lane getting completely moved off of the wave. Level 2 hit first there for EDG, and they're going to continue to punish them and make sure that this Varus doesn't really get enough space to play.
CDZ settling in comfortably to his lane assignment as well. Starting to see slight push here coming out from Angel into that early rise. I mean, can you just put the headphones on, blast whatever music you want, and just kind of cruise if you're Xiaohao? I mean, doesn't have a worry in the world right now.
Hey, look, as much as I would love for him to cruise, I think you want to win the game. I'm gonna take a leap out here and say that Xiaohao wants to get this game done early. Angel probably has bedtime soon. We haven't talked about her in a little bit now, but I'm sure that Angel's dog also wants to maybe see him. So for EDG, it's about let's get Angel home.
Là không còn cái bản đồ nữa rồi nhưng mà vẫn đi chơi với một lũ thôi.
You got a lot of options here.
Vẫn là thằng giữ lời.
For TT, it is going to be Junhao immediately spotted, but they gain control of the Fey Lights. And this was some interesting pathing, I think, from Xiaohao, going from bottom to top side.
Both Scuttle Crabs going down. Xiaohao just gonna, get a little bit of scouting as he goes for his reset. Just notice this, that both mid laners are not supporting teleport. I know that's a thing on Rise, but I've been seeing a lot more Syndras.
Rồi, nào, ok. Cùng đến với game cuối anh em ơi.
Intriguing to go for the ghost here, but into what? Cassante, Nautilus, Nocturne?
Yeah.
Never a bad thing.
We said that this was going to be a low range game. I think
Nào.
Ghost is so OP for Syndra.
Để đánh như nào rồi.
Ghost especially, Hero actually just used it to get back into lane much faster. So
Đâu đấy cũng còn cái bản đồ nữa rồi. Vẫn đi vào bên GTA.
See if Thunder Talk are going to be able to leverage Rise's advantage right now. Because it's so early in the game. Ghost is going to be back before any real big fights, especially around that Grubs. And the home guard's advantage means that he's immediately pushing here. So are they going to use this to move into top side? Maybe does Hero get a chance to sneak into bottom lane and look for something on the leave?
I have to see. I have a weird segue question.
Yeah, what's up?
What? There's still
Rất là
a
sẵn
lot
sàng.
of Syndra skin.
Vẫn làm.
What's the name of the Syndra skin that is it still banned in competitive? Because it's like too hard to.
Oh, the
Is it the
Justicar.
water
Rồi
one?
nào.
It's
Or,
the it's so this is it. So the Justicar one is banned because the
Sai lầm,
it's
sai lầm.
really hard to see. You can kind of hide some of your animations. Talking to Syndra players, and this information might be outdated, but a lot of the Syndra skins that are not her base skin are bugged because the actual models of the spheres are a lot smaller than their hitboxes. So it's much tougher. Some of the skins, like I think it is whichever underwater skins that she has, not the Atlantean one, but the haunted one. Her animations are slower on those skins. So
Interesting.
You get
So what you're saying is, for all the Syndra players at home, you should just rock the base skin if you want the most optimization.
Rồi
correct.
nào,
However,
ok.
I love Spirit Blossom Syndra.
I use
Đến đây.
Spirit Blossom every time.
Như nào nữa đây?
It is too
Except-
beautiful of a skin.
Except for when it's Halloween, then I rock the one with the pumpkins. Because you gotta be festive. All right, so while we went down the old history books of Syndra skin optimization, we now see that both junglers have completed one more sweep through the clears. On the top side, Rukia looking for a nice little Zenith Blade engage, gets the cleanse out of Ryan. Both junglers are, begrudgingly looking to fight here over this top scuttle. Angel does have that ghost advantage, gets the Sky of the Weak stun, Unleashed Power immediately thrown fully out, but gets poked really low. Haru's gonna flash for first blood. Junhao gets away from Xiaohao. Oh my god, the longest realm warp you've ever seen in your life. Please get the Root Prism. All right, Haru, come on. Can't go through the unbreakable wall. Xiaohao, is very lucky to be alive.
Rồi,
Haru hit
ok.
every
Đây là
single
màn hạ
skill
gục
he
đầu tiên dành cho các thành viên
could.
Benefit.
Find himself a double kill.
TT
Still Thundertalk on the board first, though.
Thunder Talk.
20 HP there for Xiaohao. Incredible stuff, the fact that he lives, but a massive investment from EDG. Still turns into first blood. Good job from Thundertalk in the mid jungle. This is why they were trying to avoid each other early on. If you have a spell shield as Nocturne, you kind of cut out the legs from underneath a champion like Pantheon. And now Nocturne has level 6. If he wants to make a play for the bottom side, I think it's very likely. If Gnar would have overstayed for this lane, maybe they just look to turn onto him instead of this dragon.
He's definitely still sticking around. Junhao? Nope, not gonna look for it. He wants the dragon, so he's gonna head back towards the bot side. Big win as well for the kind of dynamic of how mid lane's expected to go. I know Syndra's a lot different than her lane bully past, but she doesn't scale as well as they say a Rise would, and definitely is a lot more punishing early compared to the Haru's Rise. So definitely where you kind of want the gold. Haru now up significantly alongside Junhao, the mid jungle duo for Thundertalk, gonna try and pave their way through an early to mid game that you marked as one they need to find the win in before leave comes around.
So dragon spawns, grub spawn in 30 seconds. You can see that Junhao is moving towards the top side. There is no Syndra flash, so if she ever moves for either of the side lanes, you are going to be hard pressed to find a better target as Thundertalk. I want to see them try to abuse this. It makes EDG going for an objective really tough. You cannot walk onto that same side, and you basically have to escort Syndra everywhere, which basically means you are always going to know at least 2 members of EDG.
Rồi nào.
Grubs on the map. Junhao on top of them. You do have Xiaohao close by. Haru has first move though. Angel trapped under the turret. Don't see where exactly Feather is. None of this matters though. Junhao uncontested. Grubs going down before first dragon. That's something that we're used to talking about in season 15 last year. 25. Oh, hello, solar flare. Oh, the ghost doesn't get hit. Wow, the stun. Good little find there from Parukia.
Rồi nào, ok, sẽ là màn hạ gục gỡ gạt dành cho các thành viên bên phía EDG. Đó là màn thuộc về Angel.
And now Xiaohao gets all of the information as to what Junhao's camps are. He'll steal the respawn raptors, probably also get the bottom side scuttle. So this is going to open up a big lead here for EDG. And like I said, for Leona, flash check. Does Haru have flash? Slayer, let's inform the audience.
I don't know. No, I'm kidding. No flash. No,
There
there
you
was
go.
no flash.
There you go. See, it's very simple.
I feel like I'm playing League of Legends Coco Melon Edition.
Look, you had a bit of an issue earlier
Rồi nào.
with pretty pictures, so I'm
I knew
just
you were
making
gonna-
sure that you're on
I knew you were
your
gonna go for that
P's
one.
here.
I knew the minute you took that tone that you were gonna go right for that.
Tao không thể để giọt lệ nào được đâu.
We got another 3 games after this, okay? So you can't run out of material quite yet. This is called callback.
Okay, right. Okay, yep. I understand how callbacks work.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be making a callback myself if something happens. So and you're gonna hate it. So foreboding. Let's make some callbacks to games 1 and 2, based off of where we're at comparatively to what we want to see in game 3 here. My point being, how do we tackle these Drakes now, and how much do you feel like the game might warp the fact that first Drake is not going to go down? I mean, it doesn't feel like anytime soon. Maybe like 12 minutes in, it's definitely going to give a different sort of edge to this game compared to a lot of the games we've seen in the LPL so far this season.
You say 12 minutes. I think 10:45 is a good timer for this Dragon. You see that EDG are already positioning around here. Is it because they want to take a I see Leva's recalling. This is strange. I would have thought you want to use your power now. You just got to push it on bottom lane. Syndra also just got to push it and also has her flashback. This could have been them for this Dragon. Instead, it's Leave getting closer to an essence. And Thunder Talk are going to do nothing for it. Okay, no punish here from Thunder Talk.
I'm liking my 12-minute assessment. Guys,
all right, never mind. It's not 10:45. Maybe it's 11:15.
Okay, we're going for Heru. Nice little stun. Scatter the weak. Angel finds the pick. The stun lock comes down thanks to a nice timed solar flare. And Heru is once again picked off. Thanks in part to Angel and Perukia teaming up.
I don't understand why Heru had to die there. I mean, he just kind of got back to lane. He's already down almost a full level. Exactly. He had flash the entire time, and he had merc treads. So it wasn't like he was getting CC'd for the entire duration of that play. He had many opportunities to use the flash, opted not to. So if he doesn't end up making like a big flash play in the next 3 minutes, that is a really good punish there.
Ok, bây giờ đánh như nào đây?
Now get more time on the bottom side. They take
Ai gọi đây 3 lạc biên mẹ thằng mày.
Very little reprieve. I mean, unless they make something happen around ZDZ, this is a huge win.
I mean, I'm still waiting. Junhao, yeah, we gotta see that first paranoia. Flash comes out here from ZZ, trying to clear some distance. The Fierce Still gonna come through. Grand Starfall behind. Angel's here as well. All right.
Rồi ok, nào đi lên đây. EDG chắc chắn sẽ có mạng của Casey thôi. Casey sẽ phải nằm xuống khi mà băng trụ lập ngu. Trụ rất ngu. Rồi, nào, bây giờ EDG có khả năng là ép nhanh mà win nhanh thì được. Nào ra tài kill hay không? Tài tham cũng được luôn.
Oh, so he doesn't have flash for 5 seconds. Wait, okay, 3, 2.
Ôi, kiểu này kịp co Việt Nam không nhỉ?
Really tight flash timer then. Okay, I will give him credit. I'm
sorry. Cái này mẹ ngồi làm xong đợi Việt Nam đá xong đi bảo luôn là hợp lý rồi. Này ngồi coi LPL xong rồi Việt Nam tới xong đi bảo thứ là đẹp luôn ấy. Rồi ok nào. Mấy Trung Quốc này tối nay nó đá chung kết mà mấy ngày cũng không được coi. Nhưng mà chắc U23 thì bọn bên này, bọn Trung Quốc này nó có quan tâm không nhỉ? Trung Quốc này nó có quan tâm U23 không nhỉ? Mấy này nó có quan tâm U23 không ta? Không.
Yeah, still win. Dredgeline spec given over. Some of the quests are starting to come through, even though we've seen some lane swaps come across. Keshi completes his top lane quest. Going to get some gold off of the turret as well. Good to see Angel. This is the most meta build for Syndra. I do think there are places to go like Ludens and then go full burst, full Shadow Flame. But in a game with Cassante, Rise, Nautilus, you got to go Blackfire Torch.
I'll tell you right now, this champion with ability haste is broken. So you just need the Blackfire Torch. And
you know what's broken with ultimate ability haste? Good old Junhao right there. Not saying he has it yet, but he does. He has hex plate.
He does. So good play. They caught ZDZ. They knew he doesn't have flash. That'll open up a small window.
Làm gì nữa?
If he gets a turret play for himself, that'll equalize the gold. But Angel's just been farming on the bottom side by himself. And without Realm Warp, I do want to say that because both mid laners didn't opt for teleport, making map movements and choosing which waves you're allowed to be on is way more important as mid lane. But anytime a Haru has realm warp, that means that they get to basically make a little bit of a cheater. They can go.
Rồi đây sao hao, ôi sao hao chọt hụt.
Sao Hao picks a direction, chooses raw.
Sao hao chọt
knowing it's
hụt.
going to be too much water off our back at this point. We'll see if EDG can get anything on this top side now that they've reinforced 3 members up here.
Herald in 30 seconds. Still waiting on a first turret break. Dragon timers are still pretty funky. Nice little gold injection for Angel with the crystalline overgrowth claimed. Definitely has a huge advantage item-wise over Haru. Still need time for this rise. Syndra, with that ability haste like you talked about, is going to be problematic. This does feel very similar to game 2 so far. All can again do want to praise at least in this.
Rồi nào bây giờ đây KC sử dụng ulti đến từ vị trí của JDG này. Nói rồi, con Gna này rất là khó đánh. Chúng ta nên đi TT là hợp lý anh em ơi. Nào bây giờ ở đây đi ra lao ra tắt đèn là có đến từ vị trí của Chun Hao. Rồi nào đánh đi. Sao Hao ở đây làm gì nữa?
Does not have the realm warp. He is as good as dead, and this time with leave here, they can make sure
Heru bị gỡ gạt lại.
But TT on the map, feeling a bit better on the mid lane side at least.
Yeah, Ryan gets to hit up this wave. No Q3. If Keshi lands that might have been ZDZ going down again. But a very, very tight play. That's the flash that Hero didn't use in mid lane when he died the second time. I don't think that's worth it. I mean, you got another turret played in mid, but Leave ends up picking that kill. You now lose your entire top tier 1. It's actually going to be reinforced by a Keshi TP, and you still get the Herald. That's dicey at best, and pretty bad at worst here for Thunder Talk. A great trade coming in for Edward Gaming.
Very fun to see two teams opt into playing the map with their comps.
Rồi, nào, bây giờ đánh như nào nữa đây? Auron đánh khá tốt đến từ vị trí của KC. Leaf ở đây vẫn đang đánh ok, quy lên quy 2 là có luôn tốt đến từ vị trí của KC.
Okay, good enough. Killed Leave, and it did cost a lot. That was both the flash and the teleport coming in from Keshi. So, meaningful tools being used. Maybe Keshi gets his own time on the start. I think more so it's going to be him taking his recall, moving in. Dragon going over to TT is not all that bad. So we are getting some push and pull in this game, which I know coming into this series, I was maybe a little bit more hesitant to give Thunder Talk the benefit of the doubt. But like, this is just a very good play. I mean, he doesn't have Spell Shield anymore. And you get the flash from Leaf. That's massive.
Một pha solo kill luôn đến từ vị trí của KC hay này.
Yeah, great play to Keshi, but we got the play off the turret. We saw the TP. We just need to back up there. So still those problem points that EDG need to solve a bit more. And like you mentioned with the push and pull we've had in this game, they're not up a whole lot. It's like a couple hundred gold. We're even on dragons. We're going to even up the turret count here with Haru taking the bot tier 1 side turret. Here's the play though for Sao Hao, and the rest of EDG they are going to bring good old Shelly out to
lên đánh đi.
throw herself at that
đây Ryan.
But it's just gold plates. Leave though on the mid lane. It's good.
Harry's going to be here. EDG can kind of wrestle this. I've just now noticed we are 18 minutes in, and Perukia has still not completed his support quest. That is very dangerous. Just not having that same amount of vision across the map is kind of making it a little bit tougher. He now completes it, so get it back when he goes through base. Picked up his bulwark. He's a little bit tankier than usual. But the gold's fairly even. Striking distance have been look at how even these gold differences.
Tao vẫn gấp tiền đến từ vị trí của thành viên phía
leading up to one of the best games we get
tonight,
at least in group perseverance, I will take it because game 2 was a stomp. Game 1 was like an action-packed thriller that had like a mid-game spike. Perukia getting caught here is pretty bad, though.
Yeah, I mean, depth charge into Chains of Corruption and so much CC lock. Good flash away for the piercing arrow. Ryan tries to get it out quick and hit short. Doesn't end up finding its mark. Again, kind of an even trade. I think Perukia burning flash stinks, but you take a couple ults off the board here. Nonetheless, there's not much to play for with those ults before they come back up, though.
Yeah, and what I'm going to be now kind of excited as TT is Not only does Perukia not have flash, it means that he had to recall. Is there a side lane that we can look for? Can we punish Syndra when she's sitting in this lane? No, she's going to rotate mid alongside Leave. It seems like EDG want to make sure that they are poised and in position to either go for a Baron in 45.
Chắc cái cộng ngon rồi anh em. Cộng thơm nha, cộng đang sáng.
Protect our immobile control mage that's sitting in a side lane
Đây.
right now. And make sure
Đây
that
một
she's not
phần
going to get
thôi.
caught unawares without
Đây một
very
phần
much
thôi.
in terms of
Đây.
backup.
Đây vào. Đây. Máy này.
It's going to feel a lot nicer in the side lane when Angel can get this cosmic drive down for the ability haste and also just the, natural tankiness, the speed up. Both of these mid laners need a bit more time to look at the crock pot for sure. And protecting them on side lanes is out of that must that you pointed out with the junglers we have in play. I don't know how much I want to call
Rồi
this
nào bây giờ bắn khá tốt đến từ vị trí của Ryan. Sao? Dương cũng bắn khá hay đến từ vị trí của Liv. Nào đi ra Barukia, ở đây là người bị giữ lại. Sao lao lên đánh, có để chút tội lỗi vào người của Barukia, nhưng mà Barukia lui về được. Nào Ti vẫn đang cố gắng nhòng lên đấy. Cái cưng này chịu đéo gì cũng đánh siêu lâu. Đã là 7 rưỡi rồi. But sure.
He's very poor in this game. Does he get his protoplasm? No, he doesn't. He is incredibly squishy. So he needs to engage, activate his aftershock, and then we can kind of start talking about whether or not this Leona can start to play. You do have your W, so you do kind of get to cheat resistances, but you could see how easy it is for TT to blow this member up. And this is a 2-item Varus at this point. Like, Sivir is very strong, yes, but Edge of Night, you're also going to have Muramana being completed within the next 5 minutes, so there's a very large spike coming on through here for Thunder Talk, and I think EDG do need to be a little careful with what and how they take fights here. I mean, 45 seconds before Dragon, and we still have our Cassante who can teleport in with a 30% max HP shield.
They get some time on that top lane turret, though. Looks like TT are willing to sack some immediate gold to Keshi, or sorry, EDG are willing to sack some immediate gold to Keshi to have first setup on this Dragon. Again, part of the reason that the pace of this game is slowed down is you have to remember, first Dragon of the game came off the board at 11:30 on the clock. So we are just now getting to third Drake with Baron already on the map. It's making things a lot more slower pace. We are not
giờ sẽ chèn vào trụ. JDG đang muốn đánh trụ à. Hợp lý này sao? Chuột này cái tự di chuyển nha. Rồi bây giờ ở đây Barukia đi ra đánh đi.
Maybe we can go for a little bit more. We have 3 grubs. Why not? Angel cannot walk back into this until Perukia gets here. This just might be the whole turret, and they can realm warp themselves out of this play. ZDZ is still split pushing and does not have anywhere near close.
Giờ đi ra đây đánh lên là hay sao?
Wonder how much work ZDZ got done. Okay, so we went about even on turret damage, but all right, now ZDZ will walk out at just the right time. Again, another really even trade.
I would say mid-tier 1 is slightly more important,
especially because you have Drake this late.
Yeah, Drakes are going to be important, and when we're talking about the side lanes, just being able to have push is very crucial. But TT can move so much quicker around the map than their opponents. Again, just having a rise gives you that timing with the realm warp. So Rukia again by himself. No one else is nearby.
I mean, this is like Groundhog Day. The same way this starts. It's like Dredge line first. Depth charge second, they wait out the flash. Chains of Corruption was third. Perukia does get out. The re-engage comes across though on top of Angel. Great scout of the week. Junhao doesn't block.
Nào tắt đèn, bật tắt đèn chỉ để trời ơi.
Perukia flash.
Có gì hết.
Ultimates off the board as well.
This gives TT time to scale. EDG have been sitting on a 1,500 gold lead, and a lot of this is in ZDZ. We have not seen neither the Gnar or the Cassante really be in a big fight. So until ZDZ either makes a big play in a side lane where he's open up turrets and taking down structures, or he gets into one of these team fights and he has that Mega Gnar to really be a big difference maker, functionally this game is even right now. And Perukia getting caught out, while he doesn't die, is slowing down the game and giving TT a little bit more space to breathe.
It's a dangerous game. We talked about how if you take one win as TT, you could definitely get a second. And now that we're 25 basically extended minutes into this game, gonna start getting to the point where it's like one fight wins you the series, right? With how long death timers are gonna
Vẫn
be.
sẽ là 4 năm dành cho thành viên bên phía Thunder.
A pretty convincing fight at this point.
A lot of EDG game 3s have been disappointing so far. I mean, I look back at that game 3 versus NIP and well, they got caught in this one, and it's nowhere near close.
Nhưng mà gap đâu đó là 1.500 tiền dành cho EDG. Không biết họ đang cố gắng làm điều gì đây. Nào bây giờ ở đây JDG đi ra. JDG bật tắt đèn sẽ lao vào ai đây? Đi ra combo ngất ngư của ngữ này, ngất ngư của ngữ bên phía bên kia. Haru đang là người bị giữ lại. Haru bị Lip bắn, nhưng mà bây giờ Lip đang bị kẹt giữa. Lip đang bị kẹp giữa. Casey tìm thấy Clip và chắc chắn Clip sẽ phải nằm xuống rồi. Bây giờ Đam đâu hả? Double kill dành cho vị trí của Ryan. Ok chưa? Rồi bây giờ đang dí tiếp luôn từ vị trí của các thành viên bên phía TT. Nào dí nó win nó. Ăn hiếp nó, bắt nạt nó. Heru ở đây đi lên. Heru vẫn có ở đầu nha. Rồi nào bây giờ ở đây đi ra. Ô phóng rất đau. Heru vẫn chưa phải nằm xuống. JDG đang muốn chèn lên để đánh vào vị trí của Heru nhưng không thể. Ok, sẽ là mạng hạ gục thứ 8 dành cho thành viên bên phía Thunder Top.
Is that flank from Haru? He gets right into the backline, threatens leave so he can't fight, and Ryan is just
biến lên để làm gì vậy? Hả? Nó biến lên làm gì vậy? Đấy là còn có nút tun đó mà. Còn có nút tun đó mà. Tắt biến lên để làm gì vậy? Này chắc quên chiêu. Đánh chuyên nghiệp quên chiêu. Chứ không sao đâu.
He can't really fight this. He loses his flash. He'll end up dying later on thanks to Ryan 3. These LDL players are really starting to shock, and while their first 2 series were disappointing, expected losses there, I think taking a win versus EDG might give them that fire to potentially do some really great things here in group perseverance.
Ryan looks good in that fight. I think Keshi's the fight winner.
He
comes in, throws Angel into the wall. He goes all out to pick up that next kill. We're praising Keshi for that Investa performance. Looking good on the Cassante that is only going to get more and more valuable compared to this Gnar, who at this point, it's all about split push advantage he can kind of get and look for those Gnar ultimates that we're still waiting for from ZDG.
Giờ vẫn gap tiền đến từ cái thành viên bên phía EDG. Họ đang đánh khá tốt. EDG. Ok.
Look, our top side has a big lead. I talked about it before, but ZDG needs to appear in these fights for
giờ đây Ryan sao?
And we haven't really quite seen it. Also, this Pantheon sitting on 1,200 gold, but still hasn't been enough here for them. So EDG, they've been good about taking turrets. They've been good about pressing and pushing TT on side lanes. Now we need to see them kind of make it true, happen around these objectives. A Dragon win over to EDG, and right now it is going to be Junhao who evens it out at 2 apiece for both teams.
Nào, 27, cứ đi đấu thứ 27. Hero đi lên. Kìa. Dịch chuyển không gian chỉ để làm màu rồi. Rồi, tràn vào Baron đi. Ép vào Baron, ép các thành viên bên phía EDG phải ra combat. Nhưng mà bây giờ mình cũng chẳng khỏe hơn người ta bao nhiêu ấy. Combat thì cũng không biết là có ăn hay không. Còn thu tiền luôn đến từ cái thành viên bên phía Thunder Top này. Mặc dù là mạng hạ gục hơn, họ đánh combat hay, nhưng mà phần macro họ dở tệ quá. Họ tệ trong phần macro, nhưng mà họ có thể dựa cơ sở vào một con Varus 3 đồ rưỡi bắn được ấy. Varus 3 rưỡi bắn ngon ấy. Rồi nào. Mà chỉ mà sao con thua mấy trăm tiền ấy, nhưng mà thôi. Chắc là tại đồ của CV mắc. Rồi, chen vào Baron đi. Bây giờ sẽ combat như nào nữa đây? Nào, Junhao tràn vào Baron trước đầu tiên, đánh cho mình đó là cái mắt phát sáng để có thể cắm thấu kính. Rồi vô kiểu gì đây? Sao hao ai dìu vào, ai dìu vào, ai dìu vào. Barukia đi qua phía bên kia bờ tường. Sao ở đây có tele, Heru đang bọc đầu. Heru bác phát hiện đi được cho mình đó là vị trí của Sao Hao. Sao Hao vẫn đang bị bắt nhưng mà Peter là người chết đầu tiên. Rồi chưa kịp hại cho mình đó là cái thủy lôi cùng nhiệt thì Junhao cũng sẽ phải nằm xuống. EDG đang tràn lên Lip vẫn bắn. Lip bắn tốt vào người của Casey. Ok, tràn lên bắn là tốt. Rồi sẽ là all in mid hoặc là đi vào Baron. Chắc là all mid để cố gắng lấy được những cái trụ. Cố gắng lấy được những cái trụ. DPS là có và những cái trụ để bào nhanh những cái trụ này. Nào bào nhanh xong rồi về Baron. Bào nhanh xong về Baron. Hoặc là endgame luôn cũng được. Endgame luôn thì mình bút kèo. End đi được không? Không có Baron thì khó mà end. Thôi chắc là lui về. Thôi. Rồi lấy được một trụ. Xong rồi bây giờ lui về Baron luôn. Chứ bây giờ cái thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk họ ra đâu có kịp. Quá dở, quá gà, quá đần. Trận nào cũng đánh ra lâu. Má tính ra game sửa để chơi nhanh hơn. Xong rồi mẹ bọn này chơi đánh lâu hơn hả? Bọn này đánh toàn lâu hơn thôi. Mẹ bọn này đánh mùa trước mẹ bọn này nó có đánh bây giờ mà kiểu nó đánh ra tài tham nhiều đến như vậy đâu, mà mùa này toán đánh tài tham. Rồi lại chen vào Baron tiếp xong rồi combat thua. Chen vào Baron tiếp xong combat thua. Nào có trời sập nè, full chiêu luôn đến từ các thành viên bên phía EDG. Sao Hao vẫn đang cố gắng đánh vào những con chim để lấy cho mình đó là lượng máu. Nào bây giờ đây đi ra tắt đèn, trời sập hạ xuống, có Baron dành cho các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk. Nào lao vào combat, bắt được vị trí của Casey qua phía bên kia bờ tường. Sao Hao vẫn đang bị đánh, Sao Hao phải nằm xuống. Nhưng mà ở đây JDG vẫn đang tràn lên. Angel đang là người bị mắc kẹt lại. Casey đang muốn đánh vào người của Angel, có Q1, Q2, Q3 và đi ra thì Lip bắn được mạng của các thành viên bên phía Thunder. Ok. Nào bây giờ chàng vô như nào đây? Có Baron dành cho các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk này. Mấy này
from Angel doesn't stop him and Perukia completely end the realm warp, and that could have been a massive disaster for Thunder Talk. But getting out with 3 members is as good as it's going to get. And guess what? This Baron is going to give them time and the ability to push before this dragon. It won't be soul for anybody, but getting to that 3rd dragon, giving yourself a little bit more time in this game is exactly what we wanted to see here for Thunder Talk. I'm sure we'll get a replay once we get a little bit of time, but I think the timer's a little too close. 50 seconds before this dragon here. And one wrong move for Thunder Talk ends this series.
I think buying time is what this Baron's going to do, like you mentioned, mainly for Heru. Want to see him get the Zhonya's done before another fight comes across here. He still doesn't have like the innate damage you'd expect for a Rise 30+ minutes into this game. And while you have talked about how time is definitely on the side of TT, in some areas I do think it's not advantageous at all, mainly in AD carry. 4+ item Sivir is one of the scariest hyper-scaling ADs in the game, especially in a game where you, again, don't have a ton of innate range outside of a lethality Varus.
Yeah, well, guess what? If Sivir walks up and there's a 5,000 HP Cassante, I don't know what those 4 items are going to do. So we'll end up seeing EDG still have a huge lead, 6,000 here.
Rồi nào bây giờ lao ra đánh tốt đến từ vị trí của thành viên phía Thunder. Sao lao lên đánh hay không? Casey vẫn đang bị giữ lại, Casey bị dùng ra và Casey phải nằm xuống. Rồi ok, vẫn đang tràn lên đánh tiếp. Thì Thunder chắc phải lui về thôi. Ok, giữ lính tràn vào rồng luôn, sẽ là rồng bản lề dành cho EDG. 17 là 9 kill là vừa đủ chết cái cộng ấy anh em. Với điều kiện thì các thành viên bên phía Thunder Talk họ phải ăn được 1-2 mạng.
What a tense game here. I mean, it's only group perseverance. And I know these teams, their records aren't that impressive, but we've spent a lot of time, I think, building up what this series means to both teams. And I think especially for EDG, we came into the season with such high expectations. You kept 4/5 of the roster. You're supposed to bring in Leave, who had